Well, hello. Warhammer Armies project update. Wasn't paying attention, didn't see this was a thing. Figured, why not, right? Excuse me. Yeah, well, so normally we'd be streaming tonight. That's why we streamed yesterday. Luca could not make it today. Bah, can't speak now. Jeez. But you were at yesterday's stream. We were definitely talking about updates to Armies project, and I read quite a bit last night. I was super excited. How's it going, Archeon? Charles, Alex, Matchbook, Hiyo, Stormbolter, what up, my dude? Greg, update hype stream. Yes, man. Jason Waddell, haven't seen you in a while, my dude. How you been? Unfortunately, the way I got my screen set up, I have to look like this way to read chat, but this way to read the updates, as we can see. Oh, Greg, I'm so glad you're here. Was I aggressive towards you yesterday? I hope I wasn't. Greenleaf Terrain, my brother. I'll fight you in the parking lot, but I'm too far away. How's it going, Adam? Appreciate you. So when we were talking about the updates, I remember at one point was talking. I think at you, Greg. I think it was you. I'm like, if it's you, like I was talking at you, but I wasn't speaking to you. But I think you got that. Just finished building one of the each lander approach. The Ultramarines nice. Okay, we were in agreement. Yeah. So yeah, I get very passionate about Warhammer Fantasy. Tales of the Drunk, more Dark Angels, man. I have a couple of Dark Angels battle reports coming up on for 40k on Mini Wargaming, and I painted up on the weekend. I painted up for Horse Heresy. By the way, the bikes are amazing. I painted up 2 tactical squads, 2 Terminator squads, and a Land Raider. Oh, and my what do you call those dudes? The Deathwing companions. Yes, Brother Shadow. Also, you know what? What I'm gonna do as well. Oh, I can't do that, can I? Dang. I was gonna say I want someone else to come into the Discord and join me. If anybody wants to join me in the Discord, what we'll have to do is I'll have to switch scenes real quick. Well, let me know. If anyone wants to join me on this discussion in the Discord, let me know and I'll jump in there. In fact, I'll just jump in there now. Oh, I didn't prepare for this. I rushed home from work. It's a 30-minute drive. I wanted to do this at 6 p.m. to kind of be semi-consistent with the Warhammer Fantasy stuff, or the live streams. How much experience with the tabletop would we need? No, if you have interesting things to say, just don't talk over me and don't swear. Remember, kids are watching. I think you're feeling recountercharging which yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah, so good. It was with you. Good. Okay, let me just switch scenes so you don't see me go through all my Discord. So we're gonna sit like this just for a minute. Look at Alfarius, and then I'm gonna go ahead into my Discord. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna join. What room should I join? Paint and chat. That's a dumb room to join. Dude, Dark. I know, brother. I'm in the Dark Tide Vox. If you can't get in, join. Wait. Join the Dark Tide waiting room, and I'll drag you in. But for now, let's go back to the Discord, which I totally know how to do. There we go. Boom, we're back. Buckethead Spoons, that's a good spoons! Boo, 40k, more heresy. I know. Oh my god, I gotta get 5 boxes of those bikes. Want to play more Dark Tide? I might not be able to play this weekend because I have a major project, a major painting project to do for Mini Wargaming. But if I get ahead of schedule, I'll definitely jump on. I'll message you first, Stormbolter. We'll definitely do some more Dark Tide because I'm in Jones for that game. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into this update here. So I think it started on March 3rd. Wait. March 3rd? Oh, 2022. Jesus. Starting at January 4th. Those days didn't line up. So metallic attraction. So lower metal stuff, don't really care about right now. I'll have to see as a whole. Added a subheading for psychology tests under leadership tests. Sure. Killing blow. The change here against other troop types. A successful killing blow only inflicts 1 wound, which restores armor states and regeneration. Doesn't that work exactly like that right now? Also, I can't currently see the chat room if you're waiting. You have to put a message in chat for me to let know that you're in waiting. Okay, killing blow. Where did that? Character is a monster chariot. Okay, so this one's weird. I don't like this one, but I knew this was like whatever. A character on a monster chariot that has special counts as duplicates, whatever. Dwellers below, instead of save or die, D3 wounds. We're seeing that for all the save or die stuff. I think that's probably a positive. The change is to include chariots. Oh, to include chariots. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if I agree, but it makes sense. I don't want to see more restrictions in list building. I want to see list building looser, and then we can restrict ourselves, right? I mean, if I don't want a tournament comp in the main rule set. Not that there's a tournament comp, or I think yeah. Is there anything worth talking about in this first one here? Clarified, follow me, like blah blah blah. This is remove Swift Stride has no effect on movement value 4. Oh, there was a Swift Stride change. Did you talk about it in this first paragraph? No. Okay, so mostly save or die D3 wounds. That's probably for the best. Chariot wounds to die, obviously, but it'll take 1 wound. There's armor save regen. Yeah. So the main paragraph, the first one here, at least from January 4th, I'm taking away is save or die is D3 wounds. Not bad. Sorry, there's... I think it's pinging. I gotta double check it real quick. Oh, no, it was Matchbook. How's it going, brother? Talk to me, Matchbook. Can't ignore me. I do not see Black Horror listed. I'm going to assume that if we don't see... I'm going to assume he'll get to that when he gets to the Dark Elf book. Carl, boy, how's it going, Carl? Can't wait to see Storm Surges hitting the table, getting Tau Seps. Right? Oh my god. I was all excited for my Morkanaut and my Stompa getting clan. I didn't even think about the Storm Surge, my dude. That's freaking awesome. It was a debate.
Everything's going okay. I just didn't have time to do too much lately with work or look at any of the new.
Oh, you know what? I just realized I forgot. I gotta put my headphones on if we're gonna put people in the chat. I can hear you, Matchbook. Let me just push my headphones in.
Gotcha. Hey, the other day on the stream, what I was trying to say is that these chats I think are really great. The little conversations, and maybe one day I'd like to hit you up about some 3D print and light sheet and stuff like that. Oh
yeah, we can definitely do a 3D print stream. Absolutely, actually. Let me know when you want to sit down and do one, and we'll just set it up. But Eric, how's it going, brother? But I hear Boar Boy beginners are pretty trash. Wait. See, I've been a while since painting more time. Boar Boys have been a real terrible in WAP. I don't like using them. I love Boar Boys, but okay. Let's move on with this. What's the next one? There is some interesting stuff. Okay, the limit is talking about like the rare and special duplicates being like slightly higher at 3,000 point game. I don't care. I'm not using that rule. Carl Boyd. Okay, gotta go to work. Can't have you in the background. Too distracting. Cheers. I understand, brother. Come back to play some games with us again soon. Appreciate the support, dude. So we're gonna kind of house rule that for WAP, any WAP game, you can have duplicate things from rare and special anyway. I just don't think there's I mean, if anybody can make a case, like, does anybody know why the duplicate rare thing is there? Can anybody make a case for it being a positive thing for the game? I love Boy Boys too. I know. I'm sad about Boar Boys. Okay, so the forming units adding... You can't have more ranks than files. It was a positive change Matthias made. But that one extra model when you add a character to it every now and then throws everything off. The fact that he stipulated that you don't have to worry about that, good, because we were going to ignore that anyway. Cannons aren't laser beams of death. Yep. That's another positive change Matthias made. I like we did the cannons a lot. Yeah, but see, Jimmy, I agree. So 6th and 7th monsters it was a different beast puns. It was just a different thing for the game. I don't think in contests of WAP monsters are a problem, like at all. Matthias knows what you like to bring with orcs, so he nerfed it. Wait, wait, no, he didn't. Wait, did he nerf something in orcs? The Dragon Blade going up to 70 makes sense. Wasn't it 60 points? Okay, we haven't got there yet. All right, I'm getting distracted. No, brother, Brother Shadow, nothing new to the cannons, just basic WAP cannon rules. He stipulated that you have to put a marker where you're targeting, which is fine. Where was I? There was more stuff in this paragraph. Template straight line, one model makes sense. Some models may be allowed to reroll ward states from a specific source. In that case, the reroll only applied to that specific ward and not the model's total ward. I don't know why that's there, but there must be something to stipulate. Can anybody think of why that had to be clarified? Orcs for nerf prior to MMG getting into WAP, no? Oh, really? Yeah, I don't, yeah, the duplicate rare thing, chat's talking. I just can't see a valid reason. That makes sense. Like, no matter what you try to do to tone down a game, the people will always find a way to break it or do crazy broken things, right? Okay, so next paragraph, the January 5th update, not a whole lot to talk about. So the ambusher thing, is this a new rule that I didn't catch before? So if you ambush have core, you have to have an identical thing that's not expendable? Because the only thing I can think of with ambush and core, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is just Beastmen. You know they have their own Beastmen ambush that supersedes this anyway? So why is this update even there? Unless Beastmen are going to lose their... Savage Orcs for extra reroll on their paint save. They can have an overall 4+, then reroll. Oh! Come on. Because, yeah, there is an item that you can get. Yeah, so let's nerf Orcs, because, you know, they're dominating WAP. One thing. To limit how many white lines you can have. But, like, if somebody's going to bring 2 blocks of white lines, I think white lines are special anyway. You can bring 2 blocks. Like, that's a lot of points. It's probably a bad list. Even though white lines are good, but you can't have just one type of thing. Maybe the lizardmen spawning. Albion clans can ambush. Okay. So why not? I just found it weird. Why not put a rule in that book instead of all of them? How's it going to Giant Pie? So what? No, I don't think. So if you stack your wards and you have a thing that allows you to reroll ward, unless it comes from a separate source, not the ward itself, I don't think it's that big a deal. Archeon says my witches are going to die in droves. Do they have a rerollable ward? Line of sight added. For more information about different line of sight values, see troop whatever. Example, a model with line of sight 2 can be seen behind a model line of sight 1. Makes sense. I think this is more of a clarification there. Nothing changed there. Oh, when I get to Bretonnia, you're gonna actually I'm gonna actually get annoyed by something when I get to the Bretonnian update. Otherwise, Dragon Blade costing 70 points right here. I think it went up 10 points, right? I don't think that's a big deal. Yeah, so far a lot of these are just clarifications. It's when we get down to the books, things tend to get more interesting. I don't know why I started at the top, but I'll figure to start at the top, just in case somebody caught something that I missed. Can't have fast cav with more than 4 armor save. Makes sense. Glittering robe adds 2 to the armor save. Didn't it add 5 up? How's it going, Todd? Didn't it add 5 up glittering scaly skin? I guess it makes sense. It just adds armor, so lightning can still go through it. Okay, so here's the first one that I was like, cav models can make 1 supporting attack from the rider and 1 from the mount. That's not by any means. That's not overpowered or whatever. Like whatever. Why? No, in WAP you can't have any fast cav with 4-up armor save. The second you get 4-up armor, you lose fast cav, which is how it should have been in 8th. But now, if you even add a single character or model with 4-up armor, you'll lose it. Because Chaos Knights? Yeah, but Chaos Knights can't get past a 1-up armor save anyway. Oh, wait, I see what you're saying. There's ways to play with these things. I think they're fun. Yeah, no, Flying Pigeon. I don't, Todd, by all means, Todd, you want to jump in the chat here, dude, get in here. I'm by myself. In the Discord, I mean. Yeah, I didn't think it was a problem that Cav can have a supporting attack, like the mount, I mean. I just never even like crossed my mind that this is a thing that needs to be done. But interesting, good for him for thinking about things like that. Fast Cav can Fast Cav have a 4-up save? Oh, I see what you're saying. I misread what you said.
Yeah, because when you first said it, I'm like, wait, now they can have a 4-up save? That's huge.
No. Yeah, Umber War. Yeah, of course. Oh, wait, Umber War. Are you, Todd, can you drag Umber War in? Can you drag people into this channel?
Yeah, I should be able to.
Because I don't want to switch all my screens and then look. I'll let you moderate the voice chat, Todd. That's your job now.
All right.
Okay.
Steve gave me all the power. Everyone heard it here first.
I can take the power away in a heartbeat, but I can't because I don't want to do the work.
No, I know you can, so I'll behave from now on.
Okay, nothing else I want to talk about in this paragraph. I just want to talk about the books.
So when does this take effect?
He says potentially February.
Okay.
Have you been keeping up on these, Todd? I've been out of the Discord loop for a bit, so I didn't notice any of this.
I haven't kept up on these, to be perfectly honest. I check in on that Blogspot site that he has as well.
Yeah,
but I haven't done that in a while, to be honest. So
skirmishers can't have their 4-up armor in the squad. Love it.
That's all I've been keeping up with too, is online, and it's been mainly just the fan-made stuff on the blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
Flammable Hero just tells me everything I need to know, so I don't gotta know anything. That's
called codependency, Steve.
Yeah, buddy, I need you all. You think I'm doing this alone? Okay, nothing I want to talk about now. And if anybody wants me to pull back and talk about certain things, is there anything worth talking about in the magic items that looks different or interesting worth talking about? Banner of the Storm has no effect on animated contracts. Mirage Shader has no effect on animated contracts. Rod of Corruption has no effect on animated contracts. I don't care. Do we talk about...
Act. Ooh, that's kind of cool.
What?
The Executioner's Act, Soul Render, and the Drake of Dark Power give the wielder the K-Knight special rule. So that's really impressive. So for those of you that do play Dark Elves, you can't have a character without that rule join a K-Knight unit. So you couldn't have a Dreadlord join an Executioner's unit, but now you can.
I know, Demon Ace. Umber War, are you in the right... Todd, can you see Umber War?
Let me go back. Yep, I got him.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to skip... I apologize, and if anybody disagrees with this, let me know. I'm going to skip over the Albion, Amazon, Araby, because I just don't really care too much about armies that I just can't get on the table myself right now. So I'm going to skip
Makes
over.
Sense. You should skip over those like French horsemen too.
No, we have to
What?
talk about them.
You're talking about the best faction?
So yeah, we haven't got there yet, but that was one of the ones I wanted to talk about. So
Did the French not run away with 3d6?
I think everything does now. So the Bretonnian general no longer needing the whatever, all good things. But one thing wait, is it not here? Oh yes, the lance formation. A wizard in the second rank still counts as having line of sight for the purpose of casting spells. This right here, I'm gonna be look at
That's
this
really
is
good.
clear bias. There is no need for that.
Totally.
That is
That's
completely...
really good.
I'm going to be a whiny little poor sport. That is unfair. I have my own Bretonnian army. I'm working on Bretonnians. I don't... Like, whatever. I play Bretonnia. That is unfair.
What, you're telling me you don't want the prophetess to be able to see through the unit and just cast magic missiles now?
Okay, if the prophetess can, now you have to make a case why, if I put a bunch of characters in the unit, I wouldn't do it anyway. Because this will never come up. This is not actually a rule that's going to affect anything, like in a negative way for me, but the fact that they can do it and then others can't. So if I take a cav unit and I want to go 3 wide, no, I guess I can't do that. But if I want to go cav unit, I guess I could go 3 wide. I have 5 cav and a wizard, and I go 3 wide, all 3 commander, like all 3 standing musician champion up front, and my wizard in the back. I can't have line of sight, but the Bretonnian can. Like, it's not a problem. It's just clear, unfair treatment.
But at the same time, too, if you go 3 wide and you have a spellcaster in that unit that is not a Bretonnian unit, they will replace the musician or the standard bearer.
No, look at here's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like no other army is going to do it. No other army is going to do it. So it doesn't matter. It's just like, oh, we want to make sure the wizard can have all the protection of the second rank, but would still be having all the line of sight of everybody else's wizard on a horse without any of the liability. It is completely this one I thoroughly, like, strongly disagree with.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either.
Per what Flammable Hero says, apparently it was FAQ'd to be like that in 8th too.
It was, but it was also wrong then. Yeah, this one irked me. I remember you ever watch like a 1990 sitcom and the person's like reading a book or whatever in bed? I was being on my phone. I sat straight up. I can't do a sit up, guys. This made me do one.
I guess a giant pie makes a really good point. Like, it is kind of thematic.
No, I don't
as much
care.
As we don't agree with it.
I don't care.
As much as we don't agree, and I don't think it's any better. I agree that it's a kind of dumb.
Yeah,
but it does have a thematic feel where the knights are protecting the lady.
Let me tell you straight up, this should have been the case a long time. This always should have been the case. But Bretonnia's had it too good in WAP. Like this should be the case, but they can't get it right now. They have to have like another like a bad update or something.
I guess
you're right.
I feel like it gives them more reason to take Lore of Heavens, though, since there's a lot of magic missiles in that need line of sight.
But I just don't think you need the buff.
No,
I mean,
AC per calories.
Teammates see burnt calories.
Look at Matthias. I did a sit because of you.
Are you going to sue them now for like emotional damage?
I can't undo that calorie I burnt.
Yeah, you can. It's called eat more.
I did right away. I went and got something to eat right away. I was fine. Don't worry.
There you go.
All right, so that's it. Like, whatever. Is there anything else in Bretonnia worth discussing there? What do we think?
Well, there was one point that I had seen that I wanted to read a little more.
But you know what? Hold on. I'm going to do the petty thing. Demon Ace. Wait till I get there. Start a poll. Watch your mouth.
I said flag mark. Purify. All hex spells affecting friendly units within 12 inches are automatically dispelled. In addition, any units with the demonic, vampiric, or undead special rules and base contact with the priestess or the unit she is with takes d6 strength 5 hits. What the deuce?
That's really yay.
I mean, that's also the priest that can't make any attacks, right?
She doesn't need to at that point.
Yeah, but that's only against 3 armies that...
Yeah, I'll spell it this way.
No, so the 2 or 3 armies that she can do that to, where she does the d6 strength 5 hits, is fine. But she just shuts down every hex spell.
Oh, yeah, that part.
For all units within 12 inches of her.
Okay, everybody, take a second right now and vote in the poll I just put up. And then also, while you're doing that, hit the thumbs up for me. It's a live stream that's not a battle report, so it's going to do nothing for me, but it makes me feel good.
The fact that I'm seeing more yays go up past nay is concerning.
Giant pie. All Bretonnian damsels are now blind as a new rule.
I had to join just to make my point clear. I said yay, but only because when you miscast, now it hurts you more when you get the big template.
Fair. I like Spoon. Spoon brings a good argument.
That is.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything go wrong with something sitting in the middle of the unit and blast templates. Also,
Wait, was that? Is that
I haven't
Matchbook?
seen anything. No, Slimy. Hi.
Slimy, hey buddy, can you do me a favor? Can you boost your audio a little bit? I can't see anybody's name, so I can't see who's talking.
Is that better? My mic was quite far away.
That sounds a lot better. Okay, so Bretonnia, I'm gonna end I'm gonna let the poll go until I get upset about something else. All right,
wait,
so
Giant Pie. I think that's because it's he's a larger base, isn't it? This land seeing over the Saurus.
It's Palanquin.
does he rule as written see over the does he see? I didn't consider that.
I'm 99.9% sure he is, but Flammable Hero is in chat, so.
Flammable Hero. You have made yourself famous, dude. I gotta put you on payroll somehow.
Even
Flammable
my
Hero,
wife, who doesn't
see?
watch the streams full times, knows who Flammable Hero is. Just putting
That's
that out there.
You're famous on a tiny channel of a niche hobby. The niche part of a niche hobby. Well, the niche part of a niche part of a niche part of a hobby.
Well, hold on, Steve.
Fan-made area.
Don't undersell yourself. You've got over 30,000 followers.
Yeah, dude.
So, you're no longer a niche part of a niche hobby. You're more like a cult.
Corius Pharaon, Primarch of the Second Legion. Look, Steve, just because you're bad doesn't mean you need to say that something is favoritism. Mostly joking. Have a good day. Hey, bro? All right? Okay. Keep in mind. All right? I see the comments you put.
Aren't all like
Appreciate you.
any miscast worse now for the Bretonnians? Now technically she's in the middle of the unit because there's the any model and contact, small blast, and large blast.
Is he monstrous infantry?
That's what
Okay,
they're
good.
saying. Yeah.
All right. So you know what? I'm going to end the poll now because I can't really see it. But what did it end up as? We had 48 votes. About half of you voted, and the Dems. So the people are slightly more in favor than it can see. Also, it was probably very confusing the way I worded that. I'm going to say that 56% of you agree with me. Yay, it's pretty dumb.
Yeah, that was not worded correctly.
Yeah, no, 56% of you agreed with me that it was dumb that they got that special treatment. So I appreciate you guys helping me on that poll. We'll do another one where we'll see if everybody agrees with me, as always. I think I saw Kyle Keelan. How's it going, Kyle?
Because we have to decipher what it is that he says, too.
Man, I love being always right. Okay, so Beastmen.
What?
No, don't get ahead. Don't get ahead, Todd. Don't get ahead.
No, I'm looking at Bretonnia. There's one more thing.
Oh, okay, go
The
ahead.
renewed valor. All friendly knights within 12 inches will rally and regain the blessing of the lady if they lost it.
Yeah, I was about to say, Steve, you have a way to make your cowardly knights
How
better.
did you not?
Yeah, but how do you get... Yeah, you have to have that, 3D printed model, whatever.
Why do you need a 3D printed model in order to get back a ward save?
Because it's the shrine chariot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that thing doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned, so I don't care.
That's fair. See, I've always wanted my own Bretonnian army. I like my kidneys inside my body, and I like living in a house. Not maybe having sold my kidneys.
I
so
spent
I
so much money on Bretonnia. I gotta get it done. It was dumb what I did. And Stormbolter helped. Okay, so Beastmen. Beastlord and Wargors can take spears. I actually think it's kind of cool now that spears are a very viable weapon. But Gors can take light armor for a point. This is a buff they don't need, but my god, I'm happy for it.
About taking spears? Yeah.
No, the Gors can take light armor.
Good love. Are they modeled with light armor?
No, they're naked as hell.
Okay, sure.
They're barely wearing a codpiece.
Yeah.
I just feel
They
like
might be carrying a shield.
You wouldn't pay for it because you're trying to take the one magic item that gives everyone -1 armor save.
I don't think you're going to see a lot of Beastmen players take that. Because all it doesn't really... It's the same problem with 8th edition, where there's a lot of strength 4 items, or a lot of, strength 4 units that are out there. So just giving them light armor.
No. Minor
armor shield is a 4 from shooting.
Yeah, exactly that.
Oh, that's right. They have shields, don't they?
Well, for starters, basic handgun is -2, so they're getting a save against handguns.
That's true.
And so there's a big argument, and Kyle's in chat here. Kyle kind of helped me learn how to play the Beastman. he likes double hand weapon gores because more attacks, right? It is probably the best way to. 1 second. Yeah, it's probably the best way to play them right now. Except mine were armed with shields and it was inferior. But then I discovered when I have a fighty wizard, a lord, and a BSB, like barely anybody's getting bonus attacks anyway. I was better off with the shield, and now that squad's even better with light armor.
Mhm.
So no, I'm very. It's a buff to the Beastmen that they didn't need, but I'll take it. The rest of the Beastmen stuff, I don't care. Like it costs points to upgrade Centaurs to ambush. Fine, it makes sense to me. But one thing I'm not seeing in here, and like I wish, does anybody have a direct line to Matthias? Like, there's one thing that I almost want to demand, but I never would demand. Bestigors are so clearly wearing heavy armor. They are wearing heavier armor than dwarves that are in heavy armor. They are, like, it's not full plate, but it's still clearly heavy armor. I don't care if you make it 9 points on model. I can't stand my Bestigors with medium armor when they look like that.
Especially now that the buck naked gores are essentially
Yeah.
one less than them.
Question: can Gores be given a mark?
No.
Yes. Oh,
No.
Okay, maybe that's why they've only got the medium armor.
No, Bestigors can get a mark. Sorry, I thought you said Gores.
Yeah, no, I asked if Gores can.
No, Gores can't. Bestigors can. Medium,
Yeah.
but I don't care. Like, they're so, like, I'll pay a dumb amount of points for it. I just can't stand looking at the model when it's so clearly in heavy armor.
No, I get where you're coming from, but maybe it's because of the fact, because I remember my first game of WAP on a YouTube channel, and
yeah,
there was all these Mark of Nurgle beasts.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it hurt a lot, dude.
No, it didn't hurt my guys though.
Oh, I bet it didn't.
But
Helps
Giant Pie's joking around saying I agree, Beast need above. I'm dead serious. Make it cost 9 points. I don't care. I'll make it so it's bad. I will pay the 9 points just so it visually looks right to me. I'll take the nerf by like doubling the point cost of the model. Just give them freaking heavy armor. I can't stand it. I don't know why. This one drives me nuts. Watching the Bestigors, like if all the models you look at, like you can argue like that could be light armor, there could be medium armor. I can look at it as heavy armor in a weird way, but these are so clearly thick plates of metal.
Okay,
did
so
they have it
you've seen
in
Dark Elves.
8?
What's that?
No, let's let me speak.
Sorry. Did they have heavy or whatever the equivalent was in 8?
They had heavy, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there is no reason for it to be removed in that case.
But also in that case, can greatswords get full plate now?
No, the full plate got taken out for like I think everything.
I think from what they were saying, Empire still gets it. It's just instead of it being a core armor, it's only certain armies get full plate.
Well, heavy armor sort of replaced full plate because they're both a 4-up. Great.
Yeah, just like how medium armor is 5-up in WAP now too.
Yeah, boy, yeah. There's a lot of cool things, but because we're on the internet, we're gonna bitch about the minor things that are slightly annoying. That's how the internet works. Okay, so Cathay, don't care, can't play them right now. Chaos Dwarves, I actually looked at a big pile of Chaos Dwarves today. They're coming along. Should we talk about Chaos Dwarves? I don't even know enough about them in WAP to know if there's anything different. Don't even care. There is a technical buff to them. We'll talk about them later on. More of a core rule buff that's going to come up later on. Demons and Chaos, guys. I actually forgot these 4 armies existed. One thing I would have liked to have seen, which I'm not seeing an update here, is I don't think there should have been there should have been an exclusivity of, I can't remember the name of the upgrade, but one of the upgrades for a demon can give you a 3-up invulnerable saving and shooting, and then one can give you reroll invulnerable saves. So having a 3-up rerollable vulnerable against shooting, they should have been exclusive.
I think that's what the third from the bottom is about. The Word of Chaos cannot be combined with Diabolic Splendor. I want to say that was it.
Oh, hell yeah! Awesome.
Let me look up which one those were.
Yeah, Montfort, things have happened, unfortunately. Hey, relax. We're not there yet.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't play Dark Elves only.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew
you removed that combo.
Okay,
That's
good.
what
Good for him.
that
That was a good one. I don't know if there's anything else in Chaos that needed to be really addressed. I mean, it's a strong. I think Chaos Demons are very, very strong, but they're like in a good way. So Dark Elves, we have Age of Sigmar models folded in,
Yeah, new ones.
so that's always a good thing. No, we haven't got to High Elves yet. I don't think. Yeah, High Elves are in this. I think. Strength of.
Dogs of Warlords.
Right, hey, we're not there yet. Stay on Dark Elves. Stay with me.
So there's a couple things about Dark Elves that there's one thing that's really, really big. The Blackguard have been increased to strength 4 base plus their halberd.
That
So
should have.
swinging at strength 5.
I'm okay with that because Blackguard have been.
That
Yeah.
hasn't happened in any previous edition.
I know, but you can. I mean, if Strength 4 Elves there's already precedence for it. The
Yeah.
Blackguard just weren't cutting it.
They weren't. Like, and I like to play with Blackguard, but I would look at them compared to Executioners, and it's like taking Executioners every time.
Yep, exactly.
But now
Mhm.
I still want to take Executioners because the Drake of Dark Power, which is a great weapon that confers killing blow without affecting your initiative, gives somebody the Canite rule. So I can give that to a Dreadlord, which is kind of cool. The Helm of the Kraken, giving Felhart +1 toughness instead of regen 4 up. I don't know how I feel about that. He's only T4 at that point.
Hey man, that's tough for an elf.
It is tough for an elf, but it's the regen was better, right?
You think so?
Totally.
Doesn't he have?
You gave him
Well, think about this. He has Elven Dodge and 2
Six.
swords. So 2
Six,
swords.
seven, five.
So 5 up ward
Okay,
save.
yeah. He is a 5 up ward there. That's a good point.
Yeah.
T4. Yeah, okay. Malekith dropped his full plate to heavy armor and cost 5 points less. Yeah.
Sure. Doomfire Warlocks. I don't know if they went up or down.
24 points now. Doomfire Warlocks. Doomfire, they went up 2 points.
Okay, sure.
Melusai going to movement 6 makes sense. They dropped him from movement 7, so they're just basic infantry, so they don't even have swift stride at that point. So this makes sense. The Bloodrack Medusa, though, going to movement 6, I look at it as less and less useful now because it at least was a monstrous beast, so it did have swift stride. Now at movement 6, it's got bad swift stride.
Well, it's still
Even though
Swift
it's
Stride.
only- It's still swift stride, but it's a model with only 2/4, no armor, no ward save, right? 3 wounds. It easily gets shot off the board. Hard to control with the frenzy.
Yeah, no. Oh, Frenzy? Oh, God, I hate Frenzy.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I guess we'll get to that at the end. I would like this. Would anybody else like to see a change to Frenzy?
Yes.
What would you want to see it change to, though?
Ooh. Just
I'm not
one.
saying no.
No, just leadership test to not charge. That's it.
You
Yeah.
don't think it should give +1 attack?
No. I'd make it just well, sure, you fine, sure. +1 attack, leadership test to not charge, and maybe -1. I don't know. Maybe one more minor negative, but like the force to overrun.
I'd ditch that in a heartbeat. if
It's
you
it's so bad. I
Yeah.
like Frenzy as is. Well, you have the right to be wrong, Giant Pie. That's why I made you a bond, though.
Oh, frenzy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I think chosen. Yeah, they do a chaos. Okay, so for Dogs of War, full plate removed as an option. I'm okay with that. Narratively, I never really saw because full plate should be super expensive, right? These little, I don't know. I'm okay with that. I don't know. Dwarves and elves may have got changed in point cost. I don't care about any of these changes. They're all kind of like point related. So as the army plays, won't really change a whole lot. So it's probably all fine. I probably will be playing my Empire when I get more infantry painted up as Dogs of War more often. I know I definitely will, but nothing to really talk about for Dogs of War.
What do Elven longbows do?
They're just armor piercing.
Okay. Do they have a better range than a regular longbow? or
No,
anything?
no, 5 points is too expensive. Way too expensive for it.
I got to split. Y'all have fun. I'll catch the rest of the updates later.
Later, my
Dogs of
dude.
War, always.
All right, Dwarves. Oh wait, I think we're. I know. I just think any for Greg. Luke and I are in complete agreement on this. Any unit that has frenzy, we automatically look at as like no matter how good the rules are, I'm probably not gonna bring this unit, unless I'm just trying to make a meme or a joke or whatever. Like Frenzy's just it's the negatives are just too bad to play the game proper.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Dwarves lost full plate mail. Okay, I'm okay with that. I didn't like seeing 2 armor infantry anyway, but they have Gromwell's upgrade, so they're going to have decent armor anyway.
I also like it because it makes the Rune of Stone actually worth taking.
Yep.
Because, like, a Lord is already 1-up armor.
Vinny going well.
I hate it because I'm a dwarf player.
Iron Breakers were already super hard to kill, and now they rule parry. Oh, don't get 5-up parry when charged. Okay. Real parry all the time? I like it.
Now,
So what's
if they
their
have
parry
access
save going to
to-
be then?
it'll be a 6+.
Just to make a 6/6?
6-up rollable. Good enough.
But
Technically better than 5.
if they manage to get a way to get +1 to their ward, does that still count as a parry?
Yes. I don't know if they can. Dementia Frenzy suggestion. Leadership to not charge, +1 attack. If lose combat, you get an additional -1 to leadership. I'm okay with that. Or what if you lose your maybe you lose initiative? Wait, Dementia, I think you get double charge for your...
Looks like you got triple charged.
You might have got double charged, Dementia. Double check you didn't get ripped off.
Hey, Luca.
There's a Luca in here.
Hello.
How the hell did
Oh,
that happen?
Mr. the Dice?
Yes,
That-
sir.
I can't really see the screen, so is that you?
Yeah, it's Luca.
Are you talking updates?
We're talking at this very moment. We're talking Frenzy, but yeah, we are talking updates. We were talking Frenzy because something. What were we talking Frenzy for?
We were talking Frenzy because we've determined that Frenzy is a bad rule altogether. Any unit that you look at that has Frenzy, you generally don't want to
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah,
I
but
don't take it. Yeah, I pass it. It doesn't exist in the book.
yeah, it's just too big of a negative. But what update did this get us on the topic for Frenzy?
So we were looking at Dark Elves and the Medusa drops from.
Oh,
movement
right.
17.
Yeah, Frenzy's too much of a liability. Yeah, I would. We've gone past the core rules. It doesn't look like it's going to change. That's unfortunate, but it's not too late, Matthias. You can still change Frenzy. Luca, how would you change it to make it?
Frenzy to be
Yeah.
playable. Well, it does have a lot of nice bonuses. Immune to psychology is pretty powerful. The extra attack's really nice. So you gotta be careful, right? Those are really strong.
Yeah, but I mean, anytime you look at for Chaos in particular, you're going to pay points for Corn, update to Frenzy. It's never worth it.
That's like the list I have for every time I play Warriors of Chaos is like a meme list. It's just hope for the best, expect the worst with Frenzy.
I don't think you play Warriors of Chaos. That's my other buddy named Crom.
No, like the one. Oh yeah, you're right. Yes. Yeah, got me. Damn it. Like who the hell's Crown?
Jesus Christ, Luca.
He's some one-eyed dude.
Just House Rule Frenzy? Well, we don't really have that luxury. Like, there are things I'm willing to do, but that's not one of them.
Or like, I want Steve to just break the rare rule. Hell, I even want to break it sometimes too. But even then, it's a little touch and go because people love to play within the confines of the rules.
Yeah.
Or they think you're cheating.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's dead on.
You're being malicious.
Let's get back to these dwarves, though. So dwarves lost full plate, Grom roll. Hammers take bigger banners. Iron Breakers reroll parry, but no longer have a 5-up parry. But hey, can anybody think of a way of getting a better parry on the Iron Breakers so they get a 5-up rerollable? Anything they do, they can give them a ward save. I can't think of anything.
I'm just having a look now. I can't find
Allied
anything.
Army?
And then there's
just the Hammer's standards have actually dropped 25 points. They used to be able to take 75.
there
Oh,
is
isn't there a banner that gives ward save to people?
It's only
Magic.
the BSB.
It's only the BSB, and then there's the MR one. That's it.
And there's like one against shooting as well. Now, one thing, Matthias, if you can, if we forget this message, if you could do differently next time, in your updates here, we have a list of 30 runes that have been point cost changed, but you should also add in what it used to be, so it's easier to process. Because we have how much was the Master Rune of Death before? It's 30 points now. There's so many runes here that changed in point cost, but
You could do that yourself. Why does he got to do the extra work?
are you kidding me?
Have you met Steve?
Do you not? Wait, what? Do I have to open up 2 pages to,
You could-
process this?
Ugh.
You
That's
could
ri-
easily do that.
That's ridiculous.
So yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up too. That Flammable Hero brought up the new changes to the ward rule. Even if you did get an increase to the ward save, wouldn't the reroll only affect the 6-up?
Yes, you're right. I forgot about that. So you doesn't matter if you can. Hey, Dr. V.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
what's the new ward rules?
So if you have a thing that gives you rerollable ward save, it doesn't combine with combining your ward saves.
Oh, it gives you like the reroll on like whatever that specific ward save
Correct.
is. Okay.
So
is there like
is
there a trouble unit that's rerolling ward saves? Let's go. Who's doing that?
Orcs,
Or orcs can reroll ward saves?
shaman, savage. There's a savage item that gives you rerollable ward saves. Yeah.
Is it the lucky shrunken head thing?
No, it's
They
a different.
just-
It's a different item. It just gives you. I think it just gives you 5-up rerollable ward save.
That's pretty
but you can
strong.
add your parry
That's
to
a
it.
pretty good ward. Oh wow.
Yeah. But I never.
that's-
Yeah, but you want to take a character and have a 4-up rerollable save. Like that's on par with everybody else's character. 4-up armor and 4-up ward. Typically. Somebody's
I
mic
wonder
is
why
hot.
like the change, like say the Ironbreakers reroll.
Who's got
Hey,
the hot
Umbra,
mic?
you may want to check your mic.
Who is it?
It's Umbra.
Umbra! All right, kick him out. He'll come back later. He was walked away. Well, it Spoons! Now the update is making Steve think. The lunacy. I can't stay when he makes me think. He can maybe do a sit-up and then maybe think.
You'll be fine, Steve.
I'll be
You'll
okay.
be okay.
I'll be okay.
Also, I don't want to skip too far ahead, but the Master Rune of Balance no longer just automatically dispelling now, no longer a 4-up.
I think didn't it always do that?
No,
well-
so Master Rune of Balance isn't the Dispel one. That's the one where you nick a die.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
good.
eighth edition you nicked a die, and then this one you nicked a die as well on a 4-up.
Yeah, but in 8th edition it was
So
automatic.
he's reverted it back to the old 7th book.
Oh, that feels kind of bad.
No.
But
This
whatever.
is a buff, Luca. This is a buff.
It's a buff, yeah, but it's still like a annoying buff.
No. Look, I'll be the guy. I like magic, and you're gonna use it better probably more than me. The fact that you pay 50 points and you still win my magic dice every turn, like high elves have that. You don't have to roll a die in a 4+. Like they have that item as well.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
you
that shouldn't have that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. You
Yeah.
pay 50 points to take one of my magic items, like magic dice. I think that's
I don't-
fair.
I mean, you could, like make it a 2-up or something, right? Make it not
Okay.
Yeah.
I conceded that compromise 2-up. Roll a die. I'm always okay with rolling a die.
No,
I always-
we never
I
put
always
even
like-
Steven as the rule.
The
let's-
only thing that I would say against that, though, is if you're going to roll a die, don't make it a 2-up. Because there are so many times where it's like, why are you even rolling? It doesn't feel like it has that much effect. I would say a 3-up.
Oh, I'm all
you've
for
got-
it.
That's half the Blackberry app.
a 3, at least you've got 2 chances to fail. Right?
All right,
it doesn't
Dr. V, how do you
seem
feel
like
with the
it's so much
3-up?
So automatic?
We haven't got there yet, Demon Ace. In fact, we won't know that because Matthias hasn't gotten to that book to tell us. I would expect.
I was curious why the reroll the parries were the 5-up like too much on them. Like I don't care either
potentially.
way. Like the 6-up to the 5-up reroll is like a very minor like mathematical change.
It's more so 4-up.
statistically,
Because they could get a 4-up in like close combat reroll.
Oh, they got a 4-up. Okay, I thought they only had a 5-up. I didn't know you could get it up higher.
Because I think it's the Lucky Shrunken Head gives them a parry.
Oh, I meant for the
Then-
dwarves, the Ironbreakers. Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, the Ironbreaker is going from a 5-up parry when charged to a 6-up rerollable is technically a buff because now they can charge and still get the same statistical parry save.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's just they have a 6-up reroll all the time.
They
then.
just have a 6-up flat rerollable.
Oh,
Doesn't
okay. I
matter
didn't know.
if they're charged or get charged.
I get it. Yeah, I thought it was like only on the defensive.
I like it.
No. So in theory, it's a buff.
It is, yeah.
Dwarf warriors have medium armor by default and must either take a great weapon, shield, or not both.
I'm all for like nuking like saves across the board. Other than a couple units, that's kind of cool to have. Like a chosen can have full plate. That's cool. Whatever.
I agree.
A bit like the Bestigor situation, it annoyed me that Dwarf Warriors had access to heavy armor and they clearly wear medium compared to like, Longbeards, for example.
Right.
It did annoy me.
Yep. Oh, but at least they're tiny models, and that was what I was thinking about when I said there are some models that like look like they could be any type of armor, but whatever. I'll accept them mentally as anything. But
Yeah. Well,
miners can't.
medium armor skeletons. You got any idea if you got rid of that or not?
No, because he hasn't actually got to the vampire count book, so it's not like I think the last book is High Elves. Yeah, so we only got a little more about dwarves than Empire and High Elves is all he's gotten to.
I like the miners now can enter anywhere.
That's good.
They
but
should be able to.
They should exactly. So Ungrim makes
special?
probably it's not clarified. So if it didn't clarify, it's probably unchanged. They come on like in 2 minute stands. Oh, like anywhere.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
so
like
they're no
that.
longer restricted to just table edge.
Ooh.
Yeah, because you have to think they're digging underground and then they're just gonna dig up
They
right
dig
behind
you
your line.
Surface charge is actually viable now as well.
Wait a minute. That means we have to have like a piece of terrain left on the table when they come up as a hole that you can't walk through anymore.
Gee, if only you were at a place that had literally racks,
I'm doing it.
boxes of terrain, or a room with printers.
Nah, half of them are broken.
Hey. Speaking of broken printers, I put mine together and it
It
doesn't
broke?
work.
Nice.
Didn't even finish its test print.
What do I need? 3 Demon Slayers, Demon Ace. I will probably paint some Slayers real soon. Real soon.
Yeah, Slayers would be dope. Yeah. The more Slayers, the more models I have, the less stupid artillery I can run.
I mean, the fact that you can take them as core if you make a Demon Slayer your general.
I need a Demon Slayer too. Yeah.
You now can take the Slayers Lords as generals, which is awesome.
It's nice to see that you're not shoehorned into having taken Ungrim as a character, so you can do that either. Right? Like you can do it with just your own no-named.
Luca plays dwarves, so he doesn't have to shoot.
Well, there's a bit of give and take. If you want to make them all core, you do have to take Ungrim because it says for each Demon Slayer you can take 1 unit of Troll Slayers.
You
Gotcha.
are right.
But you can just take. I'm assuming they didn't change. You can just take Ungrim Iron Fist and make them core, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yes,
one
Demon Slayer
troll.
makes 1 unit core. Yeah.
You so. Oh well.
And Ungrim also allows you to make one of your Troll or Giant Slayer units the Brotherhood of Grimnir. What is the Ward of Grimnir?
No idea.
6 up, I believe.
Nice.
It's. Hang on, I got the book open.
So
Oh, and there's the Rune Guardian buff.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
Rune Guardians can
the
be-
Rune Guardians are cool.
6 up ward is the Ward of Grimnir, but also gives you MR1.
Oh, that's
Oh.
nice.
That's pretty good.
So for 5 points a model, the Giant Slayer's weapon skill 5, strength 4, 2 attacks.
They're 5 points a model.
No, upgrade.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
So I believe that makes them 15 points a model, but 16 points because they're going to skirmish, right? You pay 10 points for the Troll Slayer, 1 point for skirmish, 5 points to make him Giant Slayer, and you run around with your 6-inch tiny legs with your weapon skill 5, 2 strength 4 attacks. Tiny legs.
I was thinking of a few fun builds as I was driving home, just like a little dwarf running around, just on his own. I don't know why. It just seemed like funny.
Oh,
Like
Colin
super
did
heavy just like super heavy armor, just having a hard time getting around, but it'd be funny.
Colin did it to me with just I think a Dragon Slayer as running around by himself. And hey, Frenchie,
Oh.
and he greased me hard with them. But I found I have Ungrim Iron Fist, 30 Slayers, and Malachi's Hewer, whatever it's called, the Slayer War
The
Machine,
Goblin here?
the Goblin
Yeah,
Hewer.
yeah.
That's cool. I don't really know.
it.
I don't know much about dwarves, but they're pretty fun to play because they're like I like the I like stubborn things. Typically, I like not running away. So
Well, they're
that's why I
unbreakable.
love, obviously. Yeah.
I mean, you can also take a lot of stubborn banners and just annoy your opponent to no end.
But do you really need stubborn banners in a dwarf army? They're already
I don't know. It's fun to look
leadership.
someone dead in the eye and say, "I got a leadership 10 rerollable."
No giant pie, they crumble infinitely less.
I mean, they've got
Agreed.
really, really good leadership, unlike those beastmen that have a poor leadership of 7.
I feel like the thing with dwarves though is it's really hard to pick your battles with dwarves with your stubby legs.
True.
All right, so let's move to the Empire. So full plate armor is for inner circle knights only. Sure, I'm okay. Oh, Reichsguard and Demigods, I'm okay with that.
See, because of the fact that full plate is on Reiksguard, and getting further to it later, like I've got a buddy that plays Empire, and he will not bring greatswords because Reiksguard are just far and away superior.
Well, not anymore because, well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think greatswords are superior.
Okay, I will hear about this in a bit.
Yeah, we're almost, because it's going to change a little bit, right? So Empire
Yeah.
Knights have heavy armor, cost 20 points. Inner Circle Knights cost 25 points. Actually, that's a point decrease, I think, for the Empire Knights. I like that a lot.
The core knights, yeah.
Free Company Militia, nobody cares. The models don't exist anymore. Pistoliers cost 19 points. I gotta believe that's more expensive.
Down a point.
They're down a point?
Well,
Yeah,
so
that's-
they
Okay.
have been adjusted to 18 points because of the +1 for close range shooting being taken away. That was the primary
This-
reason that they were
Look at
bullshit.
These things are overpowered.
Bumped up a little bit. But then, following some discussion in Empire, Matthias bumped them up a point to 19 from 18.
We're 20 on my screen.
19 on
Well,
my
20
screen.
was what it was beforehand.
Yeah.
It was 20, and then the initial change was 18, then Empire discussion to 19.
They should have stayed at 20. They're really good.
What? What were we talking about?
Pistoliers.
Pistoliers.
Oh yeah, Pistoliers are brutal, dude.
Yeah, they're down a
You
point,
just
Luca.
have a witch priest and a witch hunter in there, and they become unstoppable.
Wait, why?
Because you then run them round as fast cav with there's an Empire magic item which allows you to steal spells.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you just
I'll be
run
right
in
back,
behind the
everyone.
wizard and just say, you can't kill me, and I'm just going to constantly steal your spells.
So yeah, there are two things we missed up above, and Flamboyant just reminded me that we have to, because it's going to take place in, or sorry, it's going to take effect in this Empire section. So the short range bonus for shooting is gone. So it's going to very much affect these pistolers. So when you're shooting within 4 inches, no longer +1 to hit.
That's a big deal, yeah.
Yeah, but pistolers are still crazy good.
I'd say there's still 20 points worth.
Absolutely.
You shoot them in 4 inches, yeah, that's lovely, but their primary job is just to harass.
Well,
And they
so
do that really well without that.
Straw Boss says something with I kind of agree with it in a different way, but like you can make them 22 points a model. I'm still going to bring 2 squads of them.
Yeah, well, there's yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, well, how many points until you wouldn't take them? If they were 25 points a model, I'd still take them. You got to be close to 30 points before I would second
Well,
guess them.
the thing is, you're only really running like what 2 or 3 squads, so that's not such a big hike overall. It's like 15 points for 1 point, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I wouldn't bring more than 2 squads, I don't think. But like adding, like having pistoliers cost me my list another 50, 100 points. I wouldn't think it would stop me from bringing them. But
Some of it depends on the kind of lists you're running into. I mean, if you're running into somebody who's got a lot of 30-inch shooting, then those pistoliers can sometimes have a bit of a harder time. moving
Absolutely,
around and
absolutely.
doing-
But, like,
doing their thing.
every tool you bring in your list isn't always effective against every army you you
Yeah,
bring.
yeah.
But
If they're spending a turn of shooting to shoot my now 95-point squad of pistoliers, I will take that trade every time.
yeah, so Giant Pie says it's hard to justify pistolers being more expensive than knights. Now I have to speak more for myself here, but my playstyle, the pistoliers are like the knights are 20 points. If the pistolers are 22 points, I'm still going to value those 22-point pistolers more. Like they're going to do more work for me in my playstyle than the knights will. And I still want to bring those knights as well. I do believe those pistolers are worth more than regular knights, but that's also like I've always loved fast cav. I really make use of them. They can shoot on a charge. They can shoot and flee. They do a lot of things for 19 points. And I mean, heck, like a knight may have better armor, but he doesn't have fast cav. He's not, firing and fleeing, fleeing and rallying. He's not redirecting. He's not marching all over the place.
Yeah.
He's not. He doesn't get the double reform for being fast cav. You get a lot for those 19 points.
Yeah, they stupid fast cavalry win games. The knights are whatever.
Fast cav win games. Knights are whatever. I agree. Yeah, 100%. Fast cav win games.
The other big thing too is that WAP is very much a shooting edition, and the fact that you don't have long range penalties really just makes them actually kind of deadly.
Really good. That alone busts them for the damage output, let alone all the work they do as fast cav.
Yeah.
Also, Dr. V just said fire and flee, and also that is another bonus for them as well.
What's that?
When they get charged, you could just fire and flee, and then
Yeah.
rally automatically and go back in.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think they rally automatically. Yeah, I think you have to get the musician.
Well,
that-
when they rally, they just act normally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like straight up, even if they didn't have the fast cavalry rule, I'd still probably take a couple of them just to get in the way and
Yep.
shoot.
I think it's just one of those, like, it's okay to have good units in your army, because, like, no matter how expensive they are, that's going to be, like, an important part
It's
of an
gonna be a
Empire
big
army.
unit.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the thing, right? Like there's a point where I won't, like 35 points a model. I'm not going to bring them. There's always a tipping point, but yeah, I think you can bring up quite a few points. I'll still bring them every time. So Reichsguard Foot Knights can't take great weapons. These models don't exist, so I don't really care. So now I can't even use great swords as Reichsguard's Foot Knights. I have to source other models.
Oh,
So whatever, I don't care about this squad anymore.
you can't use because the armor is different. Is that what you're saying?
No, so the Reichsguard Foot Knights, you could just, as it stands right now, you could just use Empire Greatswords as Reichsguard Foot Knights.
Okay.
Now
You
you
said-
can't, because Reichsguard Foot Knights have they have heavy armor and shields.
Oh, that they don't have great weapons anymore.
They cannot take great weapons anymore. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and don't get me wrong, Reichsguard Foot Knights with heavy armor and shields is not a bad unit. I think they're base strength 4. It's a good unit, but you have to source other models. So I don't care too much about this.
Don't these right guards also get full plate?
They
Technically
used to. Do they still get full plate?
Yeah,
because-
they
yeah, they
still
still
get Guard. The Reichsguard still do because they're strength 4. They're pretty much inner circle cavalry
Yeah.
knights without being called.
So
inner circle.
full plate, a shield, strength 4 on foot with stubborn. It's expensive but decent squad. But now we have to find other models for them or convert them, and I'm not interested in that, unfortunately.
I think it's a good move for balance purposes because I
Probably.
think that Reichsguard Foot Knights with great weapons kind of stepped on great sword toes a bit too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to avoid that. That's the problem with like so many options in all the books. It's hard to avoid doing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I get why there's so many options, because it's cool. It's supposed to be open, and it's just difficult to figure it out.
The other thing that we missed up above that affects the Empire is Monstrous Cav. Was it Monstrous Cav can get 3 supporting attacks from the mount?
Yes.
So now Demigriffs. Oh, which by the way, I have to do this immediately before I forget. I'm going to Games Workshop right now. I'm going to pay full price for 2 boxes of them. Unless anybody knows a web store where they sell things at discounts.
It used to be that what was it? Bull Centaur Reavers, the Mournfangs, Vanguard. I think maybe the Pox Knights got a worthwhile supporting rank for Monstrous Cav. But if you were a pretty much a human Monstrous Cavalry unit, you almost just weren't worth taking in the second rank because you'd only have the 1 human attack instead of the mount at all.
Yeah, it made them completely useless. Okay, I just gotta make sure I put. Is 6 enough?
Well, it's
Yes.
probably.
I don't want more than that.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. If you really want
Luca,
to
you don't know. Luca, you don't
probably
get to say.
8.
I need 18, right? Everybody but Luca.
18
Yeah, you don't get to say Luca.
Monstrous Cavalry. Boo.
No, I'll get 1 squad of 6. But why won't? Looks like there's a problem with my password. No. All right, I will buy these on my phone after the stream. Never mind. Hey, Rob, how's it going, buddy? Okay, so yeah, Monsters Cav are pretty good. Awesome.
Demon Ace brings up a good point. If you get a bunch of demigriffs, you're going to start having Cullen effect.
Yeah, whatever. I'll find a way to win. I'll just make some 11-inch charges.
Oh yeah, like you always do with your high elf cav list.
I love High Elf Cav. If the steam tank is a base contact with the enemy unit, it cannot move, but instead extend steam points, and the steam engine grinds its foes beneath the wheels in close combat, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, wait, it happens in close combat?
Instead of movement. So it
They
adds
just-
to your combat res now.
They just buffed it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
I know
exactly.
I've been cramming for a steam tank buff.
That's like, it was weird that they never did that before. It's,
It's kind of nonsense, right? That this
yeah.
tank going
I love
amok,
this thing.
grinding all of your guys, just doesn't really bother anybody, you know?
The steam tank's so good. You just put it on one flank, you leave it to do its thing. It has a great time. You have a great time.
Your opponent has a great time when it blows up.
Okay,
Yeah,
game,
I mean that's also the thing.
it's kind of susceptible to getting like stuck in chaff and stuff. Though.
We take 2
There's, like-
seconds to complain about Games Workshop for a second. They won't let me buy on my computer because I don't remember my password. But on my phone, it knows who I am, and it's still in my cart, so they obviously know who I am, and they can't let me check out.
I've the friggin' what are they called? The Medusas from the Dark Elf line. I didn't realize how much they poop on Steam tanks.
Why? Oh, because the initiative
Oh,
test?
because initiative.
They wound on initiative and they ignore armor saves, and they have a lot. They have a lot of shots too.
You just
I
turn
have you know, the tank driver is very good at his job, and he will avoid every one of them.
they just
Well,
turn
you-
a tank to stone by looking at it.
Yeah, they just like absolutely turn into stone. Like even one good hit will start like it'll start chugging
Oh,
after
yeah.
that.
Steve, did you talk about the change in ethereal?
Oh no, we missed that. Yes, there's a change in
Yeah.
ethereal. A very positive one. Not our last stream, but the stream before that, it would have been very helpful. That it could actually hurt ethereal things with mundane weapons.
Wait, what?
And it's not all or nothing too, where it used to be your hex rates, right?
No, you can argue ethereal got buffed in a way because what?
Oh yeah, it used to be right. If you plunk them in front of a monster, the monster's never going to get rid of them. The monster's out of the game, right? It'll probably eventually die. But on the other hand, if someone chucks a fireball at them, or if you, I don't know, played against a Demons of Chaos army, in which case they're just basically nice looking purple and green, blue and green colored paperweights, then you just spend a whole lot of points for almost nothing.
Good point. I got my Demigris ordered soon. Okay, so ethereal changes are if you're ethereal, you have a 2-up ward save against mundane weapons. Otherwise, you have a 5-up ward save.
Oh, I see.
That's a
And
really good change.
then everything else is the same. Like can't be slowed down.
So think about this, right? They're literally more resilient. The things that were killing them, and
That's
they're
a
not
pretty good
griefing.
change, yeah.
I think it's a very positive change.
I think it's a pretty good change. I was like, yeah, I like that a lot. I was so tired of like anytime Steve and I would play, he'd always figure out some way to like get one more like hit. Like he'd perfectly cast a spell to nuke all the hex rays or something, and there'd be no defense on it. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to affect hex rays too, eh? That's
Hex
bad
rays
for Steve. It's good for Luca. No, we don't like this.
that makes hex rays a hell of a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, it means that now the Dreadsaurian won't get just stuck with one unit of ghosts.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, spooky goose.
Um,
What?
Something I want to just bring up because we were talking about the semantics, like the Beastagore should have heavy armor and stuff.
Yep.
When it comes to the great swords, shouldn't they just get heavy armor base because that's what they're modeled with?
What do you
Rather
mean?
than have to pay for it, they have to pay to get their heavy armor.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that. But here's why: there are many. There's more than one model for the Bestigor. So if you have like the really old ones, they look less armored.
Oh yeah. Well, it'd be kind of cool just to go like even like you say they stick medium armor on skeletons. I wouldn't mind seeing like a point increase on that if it does stay. But like using the AOS ones, that kind of works.
Some of the old greatsword models I remember used to have just a breastplate with a fold and then just a bunch of
But that
curled up
was heavy
sleeves.
armor back in the day.
And I think a lot of times in WAP that's looked at as medium armor, so it's not bad to be able to go cheap on them. I think if you want to go cheap on them.
Yeah, like I played some 8th today with Nico, and it just felt like the armor was like a nothing mechanic. So there's got to be like a nice balance in between it because there's definitely too much in the Armies project. Which is, it's not the worst, it just feels like it's too much.
Oh, well, I think, I don't know if I agree too much, but I understand what you're saying. I think there needs to be a few things with less armor.
Yes,
And it looks like you did that.
Yeah.
And it looks like you did that. But also, I strongly believe there are a few things that should have more armor. Like my Boar Boys, my Mornfang Cav, and Cold One Riders are just, come on, give me some armor.
It'll at least be nice for the Boar Boys to have their Strength 5 mounts punching into combat now in the back row.
Oh, I hadn't considered that.
Yeah.
Supporting attacks from the mounts is huge.
Ones.
Boar Boys are what, 4-up armor right now?
4-up, yep.
Yeah, that should be a 3.
Big guns.
Yeah, like at least a 3. Like it's okay, like a heavy hitting kind of light cavalry. I don't even know. That's a weird. There's
Like I'm not asking for more than the 3 up on the Boar Boys. I do want 2 up on the Saurus Knights, and I do want. I don't know if I want 2 up or 3 up on the Mornfang, but give me the Mornfang. You know what? Give them. Here's the Morn. Give the Mornfang stat. Give it extra wound, extra toughness. Leave the armor alone. How's that?
Yeah.
He made a Rhinox, which is basically just a better Mornfang. That is that. It should probably be swapped around.
Oh, that's true. But the Rhinox have no. The Rhinox have 2 up armor save, but they also have frenzy.
True.
Yeah.
yeah, true. Everyone just goes.
Yeah. You make a valid argument, sir.
I mean, I know I'm the person that if I did have the models, I'd be running a full Khorne army and not caring. But
yeah, that's the only way I kind of have fun playing Chaos is all Khorne. It's kind of funny, but it's not really like gonna win you a lot of games.
Yeah,
but you have a good time.
But if your whole army has frenzy, it actually kind of works together.
I think so too.
Yeah, when you have one army with frenzy, you're overrunning in a bad position, creating it's one unit with frenzy.
You're causing literal chaos, yeah. But like you do like a lot of MSC, you don't like do giant bricks of Warriors of Chaos.
Yeah.
Like maybe one larger unit ish, like 20, and then the rest is just a lot of little guys because they can do really well on their own.
So
I also there's some push and pull on the frenzy rule. I don't know. I think it's rough. It needs a lot of foreplanning. And needs a lot of commitment on like a whole flank of your army to support being able to make those frenzies.
Well, okay, so
not screw you over, but
I'll make a case for frenzy and punch holes in this. There will always be units that need to be nerfed or buffed. Because of whatever reason, right? There's a bunch of things that happen in a war game. You never know what domino effect you have when you change rules. But anytime you look at a model and you're like, oh, it has this one rule, I'm not going to bring it because there's one rule. That rule is a bigger problem than average. My Boar Boys don't have as much armor as I think they should have, but I'll still play them because the weather not as bad. But like, I'm not going to go.
Makes them unplayable.
Yeah, it doesn't make them unplayable. But anytime I look at frenzy, I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
I think if Frenzy gave you a leadership test, kind of similar to the errantry banner on Knights Errant, giving you an impetuous penalty, it wouldn't be so bad because you already have to test to restrain. So just giving them a test probably wouldn't be enough. But if you give them a leadership -2 test or something.
I was thinking something like that too. I just didn't know what the right number was. Yeah.
Or re-roll a past leadership test like you have with the hatred.
Look, I would almost make it worse. Like, I'm okay with making it worse in one regard. If you have frenzy and you can make the charge, you must declare the charge. You can't choose not to. You must. Just don't make me overrun afterwards. That's it.
Also, Giant Pie, to go with the stupidity, yes, it is the worst rule in the game, but it's meant to be because you also are hexing people with it.
Wait, hold on, buddy. Sudden says frenzy's a very powerful buff. Amongst the strongest in the game. What? You're trolling, right?
I don't know.
+1 attack is nice, and immune to psychology is nice, but having to pursue means that someone can really set you up for some bad traps.
Like a good player is gonna make you lose the game on that frenzy.
Exactly. No, look at nailed it. A good player is gonna make you lose the game because of that frenzy. Like, it may be okay. It's okay.
Unless you're only really committing like a tiny.
No. I'm gonna say something. Sudden, you and I talked plenty. You know, I'm not coming at you like this. This is gonna sound really harsh. When you have low skill and you're basically just going for when you're playing higher tier fantasy where movement matters and you're trying to outplay your opponent, that's a rule your opponent will always take advantage of and cost you the game. Because eventually they're gonna fight something and then force to overrun. And you plan for it.
I don't think it's as detrimental if it's like smaller units, like a unit of 5 here or there, like 10 there. Like maybe a squad of 5 Blood Knights isn't like in 8th, I guess. But if you're like a big commitment to it, that'll cost you.
Yeah.
Anytime that you have a game against a human where your move can be totally predicted,
Yes.
it's going to be a huge disadvantage that they can play around and fight around a lot.
In a game where movement is king and it's the most powerful thing in the game, powerful phase in the game. Anytime your opponent can do something to hinder your movement or take control of your movement is really powerful. This is why like the spells where you do random movement are amongst the most powerful spells in the game, because that means you're not getting a big block of points positioned with the rest of your army for next turn. Anytime you adjust your opponent's movement, it's super powerful. Super powerful. And Frenzy just gives too much control. Not control. Frenzy gives too many options to your opponent. But that's my playstyle, in my opinion. Let's talk about high elves. Lion leaping. Enemy models and base contact are subject to the always strikes last special rule for the duration of close combat. Was that really a problem?
It used to be on the charge. But
I'm assuming it still is.
Lions.
So for context here, white lions have three fighting styles. The leaping lion, when they charge, they do this strike slash thing. They have this parry thing for when they get charged, and then they have do D3 damage to monsters infantry, I think. So different styles of fighting. And the leaping lion one they can do when they charge, and gave always strike slash to the enemy. But now it's just models, so the second rank isn't a fight as normal.
Yeah.
This nerf needed to.
Oh yeah,
That just
you're right.
strikes me as
Because the
being
first
more
sentence
awkward.
is not changed.
I can see where Matthias is probably like it's too powerful because it basically made your opponent have to reroll successful hits. And
No, it did not, because not often. Only on really trash things, because the white lions are initiative 5.
Oh yeah, that's right. What light lions don't ignore the initiative penalty.
Yeah, great weapons the 3, 4 on the charge. So it did make a lot of things strike last, but initially, like most elite infantry didn't care about it. Now, I'm not saying this is too hard. I'm generally asking, did anybody think that this nerf was needed for the white lions? And yeah, giant pie. That's actually my thing. It's annoying to separate the attacks.
Minded too much personally. I mean, I think separating out the attacks being annoying to me is actually the better argument. There are a lot of things though, I think, that have initiative 3. So having them just kind of dumpster entire trash units, maybe that's what he's trying to control for. Because the white lions would be initiative 4 on the charge, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of things are initiative 3. A lot of core.
Yeah.
Well, initiative 3 would be the average.
And then greenskins too. A lot of pretty much everything in the greenskins.
Pretty much the entire dwarf line, other than characters.
I don't care if my dwarfs or my orcs are rerolling the hit against white lions on the turn they charge. Like I
might care with black orcs.
Nah, I mean, like black orcs are super tough to a lot of weapon options. They have their thing. This was one of the again. I'm not complaining about this. I guess it just didn't seem like half of the black orcs are gonna have to reroll the hit. Half of them aren't. It's still very good. It's still very good. Yeah. Don't know why they did that one. Actually, legitimately, that one confused me. I don't know why that was needed, but maybe I just haven't used them enough to know maybe they needed to be nerfed. But I know the leaping lion special rule is exactly what killed Walla Karkon.
Yeah, it got me. Like I've lost to them several times because of that. All three times that you played them.
I brought them 3 times. I remember twice.
Yeah.
So Walla Karkon.
Was it Dark Elves and you just walked all over me?
I don't remember.
But Dark Elves they're all initiative 4 anyway, so they wouldn't. I remember it was significant, like maybe ogres.
Well, the way I always looked at this was probably incorrect, but the reason why I really liked it is because they got white lions go to initiative 4 on the charge. So if you had initiative 5, you might you ignore my dodge. And white lions only have medium armor and elven grace. Like they're and like 15 points ish a model. I think maybe a little less than that. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 points a model. Very little survivability. This was theirs, but it was also very, 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 very powerful. So maybe too powerful. I'm not going to argue that it needs to be different.
A giant pry brings up a good point that if you were able to overrun into another unit and choose that, since it gave the whole enemy unit always strikes less,
I think that's exactly what happened when Luca was talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because they could just like if there is something behind that one unit, they just like overrun into it, and then they're also just going to dummy that one next turn.
So I would rather, and not that it matters. I would rather it just not handed always strikes last. Then maybe it just gave them +1 to hit or something. I just don't like separating the dice pools. I think it's my big issue. Maybe give them, I don't know. It's not going to matter, but Leaping Lion gives them they ignore the great weapon penalty.
Yep.
Like something like that. Just don't make my opponent split his dice pools in half.
I'll be very interested if Matthias, when he updates the Wood Elves, changes the magic item that does the same thing.
But that's a character in his models and base contact. It's that is models and base contact, right?
Oh, that is models and base contact.
Yeah.
I thought that was the entire unit.
I'm pretty sure it's models and base contact. I've used it numerous times, and if it's not, I've done it incorrectly.
Fair enough.
Phoenix Guard get 2 attacks and cost 17 points a model. That doesn't make any difference to me whatsoever. I'm still gonna I still like them. They're still expensive, and now they're more expensive. But now they have 5 more attacks, so whatever. Sure.
Yeah, I think it's trying to make a unit that's supposed to not be like the most killy, now killy rather than a grindy unit.
I would rather them, because they're rare. I don't like spending all my points on Phoenix Guard and rare, but I'd rather them like lose a point award. Like give them a 5 up board instead of a 4 up and cost cheaper. I would have rather that, but I'll play with this.
I think the big problem that they had was having a 4 up board with the way that you can stack combat res now.
Yeah,
and like made it to where sure you could even have a turn where none of them died and they could still just lose combat because they didn't perform at all.
So Demon Ace, no, it only 5 more attacks because you only get one we get one supporting attack. So I would like this. I don't know why, but Phoenix Guard, I want to see them only have a 5 up board save, and then they can have Elven Grace for 4 up against slow things. But I don't know why. 4 up, just make them cheaper, take away their ward save a little bit, but whatever. I am not gonna. These are things pretty well locked in, right? Like they're not going to change at this point. Does anybody know the answer?
It's pretty recent, the Phoenix Guard and the Black Guard change, because there's been a lot of discussion about Black Guard and Phoenix Guard being units that pretty much no one was really taking them, like unless you're taking them for flavor or fluff, or
moving them
maybe just like the model, but
moving them to rare and making them cost so much made them. I'll fight you, Adam.
I think the idea is to try to make them worth bringing, because
you think that makes them worth bringing?
Kind of has to perform it all. Yeah, well, I mean, like strength 4 halberds with stubborn for the Dark Elves, right? Like, what's that really doing for them?
Strength 5 halberds is very interesting.
And that's why the +1 strength to bring them to strength 5 halberds. Now you might actually bring them.
Yeah, the Black Guard now are just like a super kill unit, 2 attacks each, strength 5.
And I love that for them. But as it got, so generally the general consensus of Phoenix Guard where they're just not worth the slot and the points, right? And this to me, that makes them more expensive and not any more valuable. And I still like them because they were an anvil, so they didn't buff the one reason to take them. And I don't think you should, though. I think the best way to fix Phoenix Guard are to lower their point costs and not give them an extra attack. This doesn't make anything that I don't see any value here. Like, I'm sorry, don't rephrase. I'm still going to bring Phoenix Guard. I still like this unit. I don't see the people who weren't bringing Phoenix Guard all of a sudden deciding like this is enough to make me bring them. Lower ward, lower points. I'm all for that. Lower ward, lower points.
I think the only reason why they have a 4-up ward is so that way they can ignore shooting. So that way they actually can do their job as an anvil.
I disagree. I think they have a 4-up ward because they had a 4-up ward in 8. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
It's just there's a legacy rule, I think.
Yeah.
I think if they got moved to like a ward save 5 up and then stayed 16 points, that sounds like that might even not be that bad for them.
I'd like to see about 15.
You'd like Sim 15.
14 or 15 points, 15 points, 5 up board save. They're gonna die of shooting and magic. But whatever, I'll bring them at 17 too. I don't care.
I think 15 puts them to be about the same price as a White Lion.
Yeah, but they're different. A White Line is very offensive, and the Phoenix Guard is very defensive. Like a 5 aboard save is still very good.
Yeah.
Swordmasters, model the special rule ignore initiative penalties for great weapons and gain dodge 6+ against non-magical missile attacks, except templates. It's not exactly the same as it was. Like, why is that written in here? What am I missing?
Change is non-magical. Because it used to be that they would deflect fireballs.
Wait a second. What about Wood Elf arrows? Can they not deflect Wood Elf arrows?
Or Skaven,
Bullets.
shard bullets.
But okay. All right, whatever. Hell. Was this rule a problem? People had a problem with this? This needed to be changed? This made Swordmasters overpowered? I can't stand seeing Elven nerfs and WAP.
I feel like Swordmasters are still going to be about as good as they still were.
Yeah,
I
but
don't think it really
why
changed
nerf
that
this?
much.
Why nerf this? Whatever.
I don't think it needed a nerf.
Yeah, this did not like this. There's a good combo where you can give them a banner for a 5 aboard against missile attacks, and it combines with theirs for a 6 aboard. It combines with this for a 5 up. It's a really good item, but I still never bring it because I don't care about a slightly more range defense. Like this is going to be almost inconsequential.
Oh, Giant Pie, that brings up a good point. Now they can't deflect Dwarven cannons.
It doesn't matter because cannonballs are templates.
Were they templates?
Yeah.
Oh.
A line is a type of template. Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. That's a good point. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I think this change is inconsequential for gameplay. I think. I don't know if anybody disagrees with me. It's inconsequential, but it feels bad. It feels like nerfing them for the sake of nerfing them.
I mean, this change has kind of got a shrug from me. Like,
Exactly. It does nothing. It's not going to affect me in any way.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that I had to read a nerf for the high elves. That's it.
Speaking of another nerf, the Shield of Murworm.
How did it get changed? So 5 up parry?
5 up
total of
parry.
4.
Yeah.
Wait, why would
So you know when you're going up against like dark elves, it's just a 5 up parry shield. Get wrecked.
It's 15 points. That's not terrible. Wait, why did that need to get nerfed? Did that need to get nerfed?
Apparently having a 4 up parry is too strong, especially since remember, it's a parry,
It's
so
a
it gets
parry.
ignored.
It's ignored by a lot of things.
Yeah.
The hell, man? All right, whatever. We did skip over the Silver Helms. Silver Helms going down slightly in points, but having to buy heavy armor. Whatever. That means I think they cost 2 points more a model ultimately now, or maybe 1 point a model. That's a slight nerf for Silver Helms, but whatever. I think it's fine for them.
I think it puts them in the same place when they buy the heavy armor.
Same place?
Before.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. Like even if they cost a point or two more, I wouldn't have complained about that, other than the fact that I read a high elf nerf. And then what is it? The Dragon Princes I saw in here. Yeah, they're I think they're down 2 points a model.
Yeah, down 2 points. Yep.
I mean, good, because I think the Dragon Princess need a buff.
Yeah, I think Dragon Princes needed a bump. I mean, arguably, I'd kind of like to see them get like an AP1 or something on them.
So
here's
the thing about the Dragon Princes.
They have a hard time with that strength 3 to me.
So high elves have a hard time with toughness and armor. Like not a hard time, but it's their weak. Like dealing with that is supposed to be their weakness, I think. But now that the Dragon Princes are 2 points cheaper a model, the horses gain additional attack from the second rank. They have a lot of attacks, and the reason why I like this is because high elves work very, very well when you start stacking spell buffs on them. Weiss's Wild Form, Flaming Sword of Ruin, Enchanted Blades. All these things are going to buff the Dragon Princes greatly. Like their horses get an extra attack. Like all these buffs really. Like if you play high elves, you got to play with metal and fire, and you're probably like the melee buffs solve all their problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like I almost feel like high elves get more advantage from those spells than most other armies in the game.
Well, yeah, because they already have like a good stat line for a lot of things, good weapon skill, good
They,
like
and
yeah.
they have the reroll ones to hit built in innately.
Yeah.
Their spears have their spearmen fight in so many ranks. It just they're high skill, low strength, a pile of attacks. And now, and I kind of feel like the Dragon Prince are the same. High skill, low strength, a pile of attacks. Even though they're strength 5 with the lances, you get one buff on them, and they're gonna get work done.
If you throw enough attacks, eventually it'll die. That was
That's-
my theory craft with like the Dogs of War. Just bring a huge brick of pikes, get a wizard with metal, a wizard with fire, buff him with both of the like enchanted blades and swords, and now you have a unit that will take on literally anything in the game and win.
I definitely think it's intended for the elves, the high elves, to be scalable. I mean, fighting next ranks, the spearman is kind of the premier of that, where you take a unit that's kind of
yeah, but you can do that in a small brick for high elves.
Yeah.
See, the problem with me right now is I have so many armies that I don't get around to playing enough of them enough. Like, I haven't played my House in forever, but I remember when the spear change came to the game, where you always got to fight next rank with spears. That was a massive buff for my High Elf Spearman. Can't wait for the vampire counts. Okay, you know what? I guess we're there. Let's do that. We went through all of the stuff that's written. Let's do the part where nothing matters anymore. Our opinion, we're just going to say, well, what are we expecting to see? What do we want to see?
Oh, like what do you want to see for it?
Look, if we don't get sweeping changes to Undead,
I think Undead needs changes for sure. Well,
yeah, I think Undead just needs more point increases across the board.
So I don't know. Flammable Hero.
Back in 6th, they were worth a lot more, and rightly so.
So before
fear is overpowered.
Yeah. Before we get into this conversation, there's one question I want to ask. Anybody can answer this, but I know Flammable Hero is very active in the Discord. What is the pulse like? How does the overall Warhammer Armies Project community feel about Undead? Are we outliers? Do most of the community agree with us? What is the like? How does everybody feel? Does anybody know the answer to that?
I think overall the perception is that vampire counts are very strong right now, and that there is mostly discussion in the vampire counts Discord. But I mean, like, I'll put it this way, right? With regard to that great swords thing in Empire, a lot of back and forth about, you know, what are great swords worth? Are great swords worth their points, or are they not? When we've been talking about vampire counts and Undead, I don't see a lot of controversy that vampire counts are very strong, that the basic Undead are very strong, that the bubbles are strong, that some of these items like Periapt and Aspo are very strong. There seems to be general agreement that stuff seems to be the case. That's just my perception of it, being someone who posts a lot in the Discord and wants to try to push for some of these changes and discuss them.
Does that mean, are we expecting to see changes then?
I would hope so. I mean, ultimately, it's not down to any of us in the chat right now, right?
No, for sure. But I'm trying to set expectations for myself. Am I expecting to see actual changes? Is this not going to happen? Should I not get my hopes up?
I mean, I know I'm going to argue for changes. I'm a vampire counts player. I love vampire counts. I love the gothic aesthetic. I love the liches and necromancers. I mean, my avatar is like a laughing green skeleton guy, right? You know, so I don't think that it is a good thing for a book to be where vampire counts is relative to some of the others, and I think the way it is strong is not a very healthy or fun way. It just kind of encourages a lot of point avoidance, where someone tries to gank a hero and then just run away because they don't want to get stuck in the black hole of your tar pits. But I'm hopeful that we'll see changes. It's just hard to say what'll happen.
Flavor says, I think a lot of people would say your local meta favors vampire counts. Could you elaborate on that so I understand what you mean? Okay, so vampire counts, well, get more from the number here in a second. Ogres, are we expecting a buff? And then Orcs and
Talk about
Goblins.
ogres.
I don't know what I don't know. I don't care if you change them or not. I don't want to see nerfs to them, but I don't think buff makes sense. Luca plays Vampire against down and still wins like crazy at MWG. So Sudden has some news on ogres. What do you got, Sudden? Tell me. The real possibility ogres get gut plates. Like that could be like armor. That actually might be all they need. Interesting. What it counts
Did
as like light
ogres
armor?
need a buff?
Oh yeah.
Do for ogres.
Ogres are almost unplayable. no, that's
Really?
not true. They're kind of a joke.
Is it mainly because they just lose in combat and their low leadership, they run off the board?
Oh, they can definitely win games. They can definitely win games. It's just I
probably
don't know.
shooting. Shooting and mediocre leadership, and you end up picking up losses. You end up taking panic checks. You probably lose some panic checks. And ultimately, there's kind of a few ways that you play ogres, right? And a lot of them rely on these ogre buses. It's kind of what you do with them.
So we're gonna jump back to the second. I reply to Flammable Hero so you can keep up, keep replying. So yeah, there's a lot of people who don't think that the Vampire counts as overpowered as we claim over here. So to those people, I would say something. One, just because the ogre player in your area, the Vampire count player in your area is bad doesn't mean Vampire counts are bad. Just because the ogre player in your area is winning all the time doesn't mean ogres are fine. It means he's better than you. And yes, it is possible Luca's just straight up better than me, and he makes Vampire counts look strong. But you break down the math. Vampire counts are like, I don't think you can objectively say they're not overpowered. And if I'm wrong, okay, hold on. I have to take a step back and hold on, Steve. Are you just jaded? Am I wrong? I can stop and think. Yes, I could be wrong. I'm best friend. I can. Yes, there is a possibility I'm wrong. There's no way I'm 100% right. There's a possibility it's not nearly as bad as I think it is. Absolutely. If I'm a betting man, and I am. I'm willing to bet. Yeah, like any objective poll would show that Vampire counts are overpowered. Now, Luca tends to think. Tomb Kings are worse. He might be right, but it's an undead
only
thing.
on a majority. Yeah, it's an undead thing on a majority of the matchups.
Yeah. Can you be jaded and right? Yes, I can.
I kind of feel that Tomb Kings, when not going against vampire counts or anything that has like super high leadership in armor, aka dwarfs, I think they just dumpster easier than vampire counts because of all the shooting.
It's just they bring models back so fast.
Yeah, and it's not really hard for Tomb Kings to bring models back either. Because a lot of their spells are AoEs, and so when each unit gets hit by that, they regain models.
So another thing I want to add to that story of Flammable Hero, I suspect the people who think vampire counts aren't OP are probably bringing a variety of different things. Like there's a bunch of things in the vampire. You can play vampire counts way down to the point where you can't even win with them. But if you just, bring your core and your magic, that's all you need. Like it's a weird problem because they have a core problem. Nobody's complaining Terrorgeist's overpowered. Nobody's complaining that Blood Knight's overpowered. Nobody cares that what do you call those Vargheists are overpowered. Nobody's calling any of that stuff overpowered. which makes an interesting conversation because there are people who are all going to bring that kind of stuff and be like, yeah, this is not that great. It's fine. And they're right. That's the thing. Because they're not wrong.
Exactly. Like, I don't think that the book needs to be hit by a meteor. I just think that it's a problem where zombies are 3 points a model. Are their stats kind of bad? Yes, but do their stats include the fact that they're brought back at very high numbers and they excel at their job of being like a black hole pit for chaff?
You nailed it.
I don't think that the 3 points really prices that in. And consequently, it can be difficult to price in some of these synergies, but I think that for a book with them built in the way that they are, you kind of have to. If zombies were 6 points a model and skeleton warriors were, what were they in 6th? Were they 7 or 8 points a model? If they were close,
weren't they 10?
They were like 10 with all their upgrades.
Yeah, with all their upgrades, I think they were 10. But if those were the prices, you'd still see them in sufficient numbers that I think that you would not have the vampire count player be thrown into the trash bin
Yeah.
by the overpowering stench of their book or something,
So
like
sudden, I think nails it. Like the stats of these skeleton zombies are completely irrelevant. And then somebody said, I already lost it, but somebody said there's going to be a cap on your max core. Luca, do you ever go past minimum core?
No, I never do.
Yeah.
I play like 600. Yeah.
Do you know we had to, like, Luca has his vampire count collection, I have a vampire count collection, and to play Warhammer Armies Project, I had to buy a third collections of skeleton to have enough core. We have 3 armies to make our minimum core and whack.
I'd really like to see a lot of these big bubble spells turn into single targets. I think that makes that so much more manageable. Because already, these, like Invocation of the Heck brings back not just zombies, not just skeletons, but it brings back Graveguard and stuff like that. That didn't always used to.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
used to be back in the day that it specified it brought back zombies and skeletons. Now it makes it a more interesting choice. The tar pits are still going to be there, and you still have ways to have skeletons with like a 4-up, 5-up, 5 regen and parry, right? That's still going to be pretty good, especially up against another block of chaff. I mean,
Yeah.
I
love this comment.
Halberd block.
Invocation should be a decision, not an easy button.
Yeah,
But, like,
absolutely.
So, you take away invocation from vampire counts, and my God, do they fall apart hard?
Well,
So-
yeah, their stats are like some of the worst in the game.
Luke and I discussed this in great detail like numerous times in the past. So one thing we were discussing we were going to do, but we often decided not to for whatever reason, is we were going to play a game where all the core cost twice as many points and invocation can only target 1 unit. I think our conversation ended up with that would probably be too heavy-handed of a hit. But
Well, I mean, you could like baby step it.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Well, I would almost say I'm not going to do it now because I'm going to whatever Matthias does for this update. That's how we're going to play. We're going to play his update and see how it goes. Because like if he does something like skeletons cost a half a point less per more per model, and zombies cost a half point more per model, my gut's gonna go, that's ridiculous. Nothing changed. And then we're gonna play like 30 games and I go, wait a second, for some reason that's a huge change. So we'll find out and see.
It's tough too because I think like the best way to play against them is just mindlessly go at him and just crush them in melee, and like that's often that's how I'll lose. Is just someone who just commits and hopes for the best. But it's not like really too much of a tactical thing. It's just because you can't like outflank them. They have too many units, right?
I think in simplest terms, I've said this before. I'll sum it up again. Whenever I'm playing fantasy, even when you've all but lost the game, you can typically look at the table and go, well, if I pull off this, I can get right back in it. Or, I'm going to try to fight this unit, and if I win this fight, I'm going to go blow through and like flank this, whatever. But there have been so many games we're playing against vampire counts, and I'm like looking at the table, I'm like, I have no reason to walk forward. All I can do is hope that you somehow miscast and blow up your wizard, then I'm fine.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen with any other army in the game.
Yeah, well, because a lot of the time, like against other armies, I'm always a big proponent that sometimes the unstable is a really bad rule in a lot of cases too. Unbreakable unstable is not always a good thing. But
so, Chaos Lord says, I love the way your vampire counts with my chaos. I still think I can shoot through your res with enough warriors, except the psychology build. I agree, Chaos Lord. You can. You're right. But when you're said and done, you killed 100 points, and the vampire counts only kill 100 points elsewhere, and like did more damage to you. Like.
That's the whole philosophy of it, right? It's
That's
like
it.
you kill like 100 points of them, they kill like 80 points of you, but they'll get 70 back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, crap, I forgot about the psychology build on vampire counts.
It's pretty brutal. It's only really a couple of magic items that make it nasty.
I'd like to see something where maybe you keep the magic items, but you make it so that they don't stack or something.
It's like the pennant, the cursed pennant. So it's like Curse of the Midnight Wind on a banner. That's where it gets real bad. That does, if you take that out, then it's a lot more tame.
Todd, no, we can't hear you.
No, we can't hear you, buddy. Wait, raised dead becomes concentration? How is that possible?
All right, I gotta go AFK for a bit.
And just make it like remains in play to where you dispel it, the unit's just gone.
What? I don't want to see that.
I don't know. I don't think that's necessary. I mean, I think that it would be cool to see it be part of Invocation of the Heck the way it used to be.
Way back when.
Where where you can choose invocation or raise dead out of it.
So it is Undead. So well, I can talk about Undead forever. I don't really want to, but yeah, it's just like the one army in the game that can't possibly like. There's always a fight. There's not enough attacks in WAP and melee to just wipe out a unit of zombies. So you can't. You're not breaking them. They're using the 6th and 7th edition Undead rules. Sorry. How do I want to word this? They are using 6th and 7th Undead rules thereabout with the numbers of 8th edition. Like they had their armies were significantly smaller when they were playing with these kind of rules. But whatever.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, is because I remember like watching your 8th edition battle reports. Generally, you get involved with like a zombie or a skeleton unit, and they just act as target. They die after like a turn, maybe one turn, maybe two. Yeah. How like in WAP that doesn't seem to happen really.
There's always another one behind them.
That?
Well, the points cost. So back then, skeletons were like 10 points a model. You're getting literally like I said, this is dead serious. So I take my Vampire Count collection. We take Luca's Vampire Count collection, and then I bought 60 zombies from Chris Thacker just to meet the minimum core from WAP. That's how cheap these things are. Like my Vampire Counts for the 7th edition army. Yeah, we needed more skeletons and zombies for 8th edition because model count went up, and then it went up again in WAP.
I see.
Like they got so many things, and like in 8th edition, you'd have a horde of guys with so many attacks that like so in 8th edition, whenever you got into combat, your leadership didn't matter. You're always fishing for double ones. You always won combat by 12, no matter what army you're playing against. You always won by 12. You now in WAP you win by 1 or 2. Well, here's a difference in that: you won by 12 against the skeletons. The other 12 crumbled. Now you won by 4. And they crumble by D3 less, and the whole squad's there, you're never going to get through. In 8th edition, you eventually got through because you won by 12. There's so many attacks. Now there's less than half the attacks per squad because you don't horde anymore, and armor saves are even better on them. They just never die. You just fighting them forever.
Makes sense.
So yeah, flammable hero. If you take what I'm saying to the extreme, kind of. I think the core rules of Warhammer Armies Project greatly buffs Unbreakable. Just the core rules.
The thing to me that's funny is that there's parallel discussions happening and stuff, and I think that I've seen this get back to 6th edition pricing show up a few times in a few different places, which is just kind of funny to me. And to me, it kind of indicates that maybe that's something that wouldn't be a bad direction to go in.
Well, I'm fairly confident that's the right thing to do because, like, for every time I've ever gotten to combat with Undead, it's taken several rounds of combat to get through the squad, and then there's always another one behind them.
Yeah, of
just skeletons and zombies. Barhammer, haven't seen you in a while, my dude. Skeletons versus zombies will always have been a problematic balance issue. None of them have utility because Vampire Card's never looking for damage in core. Yeah, that's right. Just a tar pit. It's true. But that's not entirely true actually, Warhammer. But yeah, I know what you're saying. So back in like 6th edition or whatever, you hope to win combat by 1, outnumber the enemy, and auto break them. That's how they won. But it was also thematic. But back then, you were always one failed fear test away from losing a game. But it was still more fun to play against those undead than they are right now. And if I remember correctly, Barhammer, you're an undead player, right? You're a Vampire Count player? I know there's a bit of a delay, but way in. I almost like, oh God. I'm starting to feel like I'm tired of hearing myself say this. So I apologize to anybody who doesn't want to hear this no more. It's just that I love the game and I don't like trying to make content with this faction anymore.
No, yeah. I get what you mean. I mean, I think when you love a game, you want to see it in its best form. And So you're going to be more cognizant of weaknesses that you feel like it has, and your criticisms. The way I see it anyway, your criticisms are intended to see this product or this thing that you like be better than where it is.
Ooh, I like what H. Carly said. Lose D3 malls per crumble point. What changes do you think Orcs and Goblins need? Okay, you know what, Giant Pie? I generally... One. There's only one. Take all their lores, put them back together. That's it. Oh, and give light armor to Boar Boys. That's it. That's it. I don't need them to be a top-tier army. I want their magic to be functional. Like, one of their spells don't even, like, oh my god, I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, I want their magic to be functional. I want armor on Boar Boys. Just 1 more point armor. Not asking for 2 up armor on them. Just 3 up armor.
The only other thing I could think of would be maybe add in, like, the mob rule from, like, 40k. Like, they fail a leadership check, and instead they lose, I don't know, maybe they crumble if they have, like, a certain amount of troops, Like, if they have over 20 troops instead of having to take a morale check, well, if they fail one, they instead, like, lose D6 boys.
Well, that's the funny thing, because I'm almost like, I'm going through it in my head, and I'm like, oh, I like what you're saying. And I start putting it in my head, putting it together. I'm like, and then I was about to give a suggestion, and then I realized what I was about to say for orcs was just Skaven strength and numbers. So, never mind, I'm not going to say that.
I'd say either what I was mentioning, like the mob rule, or just give them old horde rules back.
So that was Luca's idea too. I think give them horde rules back. I think orcs are one of the... Okay, elves have been a forever problem, undead have been a forever problem, and orcs have been a forever problem for Games Workshop, or for gaming as a whole. Elves, you can't balance because initiative either doesn't work or is too overpowered. Orcs, they need to be more expensive than a man because they're toughness 4. They need to be. But what's the animosity? Is it enough to offset it? Not really. Because, like, the toughness 4, like, I'll take toughness 4 across the board for animosity, even though animosity can cost you a game. I love animosity, though. I don't know. I generally think there's no, air quote this, fixing orcs. I think anything you do that will successfully make them interesting in combat, makes them overpowered. I say, forget them. Leave them as are.
I feel like maybe you could just change their animosity table a little bit. 2 through 5 for Squabble. I feel like you could probably have 2 through 3 be something a little bit more interesting, or 4 through 5, whichever side of that you want.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was 7th edition. I really like 7th edition's animosity. Was it 7th edition?
I think 7th edition had a different one.
And also one more thing I want to say. I want to add proper WA back to the game. Back to orcs. So WA back in 7th edition, everything moved like 2d6 inches, counting as a charge. Would it be overpowered if orcs had that again?
There wasn't that. They didn't have to nerf the one spell that did that.
That was a kick in the dick. I couldn't. That pissed me off. Like, that never won a game, but they nerfed it anyway.
Well,
that wasn't the balancing thing.
I think it never won a game because orcs, besides like black orcs, suck in combat.
They can't fight. So why did that have to get nerfed? That made no sense. It made no sense. If orcs were winning games because of it, that would be the only way they were winning. But fine, nerf it. But like, it wasn't even helping them. Why nerf it?
Like, that's the thing that just makes me sad, is that a squad of orc boys can't even take down like elves or like humans in melee. I'm okay with them not taking down elves, because to be fair, an orc should elves should blow through orcs, don't do anything narratively. Yeah, some humans should die, but they should win the fight too. Like, orcs should be dumb. I don't know, whatever. Give me 7th edition animosity, 7th edition WA, fix the magic. That's it. Oh, and 1 more armor on my Boar Boys. They still have strength bonus 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, it doesn't. Like, I don't know. Like, that should be crazy overpowered, right? That should be really good.
Yeah,
why doesn't it work?
Even your basic boy is like strength 4, T4 first round of combat.
Yeah, why doesn't that work?
I don't know. It works for every other army that has T4.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying you can't really buff the orc boys, because nobody can articulate why they suck. We all know they do, but we can't point out as to why. Because everything they have on them looks good.
Could it be from their animosity?
I don't think so. I love animosity so much.
I think part of it is their base size.
Oh, yeah. No. My God. Yep. I choked on that. You're right. That is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's that 5mm.
I forgot about that. I'm not even kidding. 100% is their base size. You can't balance their. They are on the base size of a super elite infantry, but they don't have the stats of the infantry.
Wait, they're not in the same base size as. They're not 20 by 20.
They're 25.
They're 25s.
They fill the table, and oh yeah, which means they're all a little bit farther apart. Which means they have trouble charging and just for each other because they're all just a little bit farther apart. These are things that add up, but whatever. They have to be on 25 bases. I wouldn't nerf that either.
Because like 25 mil is what Chaos Warriors are, and Chaos Warriors
Nova
have armor.
Yeah. I think you mentioned the 7th edition animosity table. I mean, for me, I feel like that just makes 2 through 5 be you rolled animosity, but nothing happens.
Yeah.
The current animosity table is like the 6th edition one, where 2 through 5 is kind of you can do something, but then you can't do anything.
2 through 5 is you have to charge if you can, otherwise you do nothing.
Yeah. Well, the 6th edition, I think 2 through 5 was just squabble, where you can't do anything.
Correct.
I feel like why not just make it to where 2 through 3 is the current 2 through 5, and then make 4 through 5 be plans a good one from 7th, where you can retain good order.
Sure. I want animosity to be a net negative for my army, and you can do whatever you want with it. That's all. I'm never complaining about animosity. I don't think you should buff the army with it or nerf the army with it any further than it's already been done. But yeah, I just animosity has never. It's never been a thing that I'm like, oh, we need to change this rule. I love the narrative of it. Like, I think the idea, and I could be wrong, so I was also a lot younger, but I think the idea was like orcs. Orcs have never been a horde army, right? Well, in the last 2 editions, they never have. They have the least amount of mauls over anybody else. Not anybody else.
Weird.
Well,
they're weird. They feel like a horde army, but they don't play like a.
Right.
They play like one, but they shouldn't.
They just take up more real estate in the table. Is all they do because they're on 25 mil bases. But like, I felt like back in 6th edition, like they were like 20 points to a 6 points cheaper than everything else to offset the animosity, right? Like they had more models, but sometimes some of them wouldn't do anything. That kind of made sense to me. Now I feel like I got less models than most other people, and 1 in 6 turns they don't do anything. But at the same time, is how many points do you lower the orcs for? Like now you have so many units on the table that you're tripping over yourself.
There's also the fact that if you lower the orcs, then you also have to lower the goblins.
Yeah, I love
and
goblins.
You can't lower the goblins.
I forget. Is the goblins list currently the more meta list?
100% more powerful through and through. Way more powerful. But it's been that way for a while.
I mean, yes, because it's mainly magic and fanatics.
War machines. War machines.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can't forget those.
The Ragnarok with the big channels can be pretty effective.
That was in. You can't really do that. Can you do that in WAP?
Yeah, you can, but you have to use the Lord of Spider.
Right.
That's why you never take it, because the Lord of Spider is.
No, I did play a game recently where I brought the channeling staff on that, so I was like channeling Power Disc and the 2+.
Yeah.
Goblins do have all the fun toys. Goblins are hell, nerf goblin fun. I'm laughing too hard. It makes my sides hurt.
To be entirely honest, I'm surprised you haven't tried making a hobgoblin army, because the stuff in there just looks so fun.
Time and money, right? Like painting that stuff. Like there's I want to do Dupont and Cathay and a Skaven army. There's 1,000 armies I want to do.
Well, I think the big thing with the channeling altar is that yes, you have to take a guy with Spider God, but the dice you're generating you can put anywhere. It's not like it's bound to the guy who's generating it. So you'll still be able to put Mork Savas or wherever it is that you really want it to be when you need it.
The spider lore is not the worst one in the book, but
that's probably the Savage one.
The Savage was never play tested. No, but no, literally, like you can't. There's no way that lore got through playtesting, and someone went, "Oh wait, did anyone notice how these spells don't actually work?" Like it was not playtest.
Sure it was. Matt Ward was involved, wasn't he?
No. Have you? No. Like literally, like they're stick. Okay, so they have spells that, the first spell gets stronger as you get closer, but it's like super short. It's super short range. So the only time it's worth casting is if you declared a charge and failed. That's the first spell. The last spell is a magical vortex that after you shoot it out, so it goes. You count the amount of orc units within 6 inches of it, multiply by something, and that's how far it moves. And then every turn, it does the same thing. Except you shot it out, you have no orc units nearby, so the magical vortex just stays put. It doesn't move anymore. There's 0 units within 6 of it, so it moves d6 times 0.
Wouldn't it collapse in on itself?
No,
then
it
at
just
least?
stays
Shoot it
there.
out again? Okay.
If that wasn't play tested. Somebody didn't think, oh wait, that's not what we mean here. It has to keep traveling. It's a magical vortex.
Yeah.
No, the savage lore has no synergy, no value. It's utterly trash. Now the little Wa is actually pretty good. Kind of. Oh no, sorry, the bad moon.
Yeah.
Bad moon.
Have you gotten deep into the talk there, or like I just got back?
No, we kind of started it. Just started it.
Those lores, man.
like
It's like
itchy nuisance, broken good, way too good.
I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love the Bad Moon lore.
Well,
How is
it's
it
just
that
a little. It's just a little while, essentially, right? Like mostly.
Mostly.
Yeah. That's
How
one of the better lores.
How is it that a goblin is able to steal one of your power dice? Is that from a lore or
That's a
magic
lore.
item?
That's the lore
That's the lore
attribute.
attribute.
That's lore attribute.
Lore attribute?
If you let their spells go through.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Well, because
We'll
it
say
used to be magic item, and then they made the lore attribute.
I think with Spider God, I mean, I feel like Sneaky Distraction and Curse the Spider God are good, especially if you manage to get them both together. But
What do
the
they
rest
do
of
again?
them are just kind of Sneaky Distraction is all units within 12 inches get -1 to hit with missile attacks and close combat, and then you can pump it up to 18.
Yep,
And
that's
Curse
a good
the
one.
Spider God is a target unit has to re-roll successful to hit rolls and armor saves.
Yep.
Oh,
That's-
wait. Sneaky Distractions only affects enemy units within 12 inches of the caster.
Yeah, within 12 inches, and you can pump it up to 18.
But there is a downside to that.
It doesn't affect immunity psychology.
There's that. I forgot about that. But it also is only cast by a shaman on a spider. Which means if you have trouble dealing with that, kill the spider. Problem solved.
So wait, only a caster on a spider is able to cast that if they're off the
Yeah,
spider.
only the shaman on a Ragnarok can have the spider lore.
Huh.
Because if I remember correctly, I don't have the book in front of me, but you can't take that lore unless you're a great shaman on a spider, correct? You can't take him on foot.
Check.
For the Forest Goblin War Boss?
Yeah, because the only Forest
Sorry,
Goblin...
the Forest Goblin Great Shaman?
Yeah, the Forest Goblin Shaman must be on a Ragnarok, correct?
No, you can put him on an Ragnarok if you want, but I'm pretty sure default Lord is just a 160-point dude on foot.
I thought you must be on a spider. Let me open up the...
Nope.
Interesting.
You can upgrade it to. Oh wait.
You can put him on
Yeah.
a shrine, and then
You
put
can.
the spider shrine on it if you want to, but he doesn't need to be on it.
Yeah.
I was under the impression, I'm still trying to open it up, that there is no foot force Shaman. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, because I see the Forest Goblin Great Shaman right
Oh.
here, and
Interesting. Okay, well that's good.
I still don't like the spell though because you have to be up close to nullify the shooting, and well, they've already shot you at least once.
Yeah, but -1 to hit in close combat and then reroll to hit in
Oh,
close combat.
it's
Yeah,
I can't read.
No, I know it's really good. No, it only affects. I have to pull the spell. Does it affect everything or just goblins?
It
Just
it
all
affects
enemy units,
All enemy units.
Enemy units.
unless they have immunity to psychology.
See
So
that
those
would
frenzy units, Steve.
Frenzies, demons, undead, grails.
Yeah, exactly. Demons,
you know,
undead,
most units,
most elite infantry.
Mhm.
I don't know. I can't think of like a high elf who's immune to psychology.
I feel like the Phoenix Gardener.
No,
I
they
think
just
they
cause
just
fear.
have fear.
They just cause fear.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Granted, elves don't
The-
need more
the
buffs
only-
in that matchup because all goblins fear elves.
The only elf that I know of that's immune to psychology is the Blackguard.
I think only Empire unit I can think of is immune to
Oh,
psychology.
that's a good point. Flammable Hero's right.
Modulans.
Look, you guys, the only way to bring that shaman is on a Ragnarok.
Oh, that's right, because you have to put the only unit you
Yeah.
can throw 'em in is
The
Forest Goblin
orcs are
unit.
super racist, everybody.
Yeah.
They don't get along with the other tribes.
Well, you can put them on a giant spider, right?
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
that giant spider's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, you could,
And the giant spider gets shot by cannons easy.
you could probably put them in a group of guys riding giant spiders, right?
Yeah.
I know
Spider
Horseback
Riders.
Spider Riders.
Yeah, but a mini spider units, they get shot to death by anything. Toughness 5, effectively no armor save. Toughness 3, effectively no armor save. Your witch is going to get shot to death.
It's just one unit of archers
just
away
saying,
from
I wanna
dying.
be clear, I wanna be
don't
clear.
think you have to put them in there.
I want to be clear, like, he's not going to get shot to death against the vampire counts because they have no shooting. So he'll be very strong
Not
against
true.
them, except for the spells you want to bring, they're immune to.
Not true. If you're playing as von Karsteins, then you can bring Sylvanian peasant levies.
Aha! Luca,
And they get crossbows.
you're. I get it!
So you're the guys with ballistic skill 2.
We wrap up the orcs and goblins. Super simple. You know what? Do nothing. Just fix my spells. But if you're gonna do something, I wouldn't mind 7th edition animosity. I wouldn't mind 7th edition WA rules. Otherwise, don't care.
Oh, and put them on 22mm square bases. That way they can feel like Horde and not really be Horde even more.
I would much rather see changes to wood elves and ogres. And I don't think wood elves are bottom tier at all. I just want to see wood elf shooting be viable. And wood elves and ogres, I'd rather see changes over orcs and goblins for sure, other than the magic.
You think that it would be broken if Wood Elves got units targeting them with range attacks would get like -1 to hit?
Something like that could be cool. Could be cool.
The reason being that they're forest fighters, so they are all about ambushing.
Or just like kind of like a camouflage rule or something.
Well,
Yeah.
like in theory, shouldn't they have woods everywhere, and they're always in woods -1 hit anyway?
Or you could like increase their light cover could always be increase the heavy cover.
So while in woods, they get heavy cover.
While in woods, yeah.
You know what? That very simply might be enough to make I think wood elves are fine in melee, even though I can't win with them. Doesn't mean they're not fine. I think they're fine in that regard, but they need a bit of not a shooting buff, but a shooting survivability buff.
Be a bit more resistant to it. Yeah, no. I think Luca, was that your idea about the bumping up from light to heavy?
Yeah, I mean, it in woods would make a little bit more sense. Yeah.
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 I mean, that sounds very thematic, and I think it's like a kind of like a
I'm
situational buff enough to
honestly, if that to me, if that might be all they need. One simple line saying that. Force Strider also gives them,
-1 to hit while they're within in a wood.
Oh, love it. Love it.
I gotta say, a -1 to hit is way better than armor.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thoroughly agree. Ooh, what if they also got -1 to hit while in melee? Would that be too strong? While in
I think
woods?
that's a bit too strong.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine. All right.
yeah,
I got
yeah.
excited. I got excited. All right, fair enough.
They're already hitting faster than them.
And
Yeah.
they also have a few tools that kind of gives them stuff like that.
They also have the Elven Grace, so they've already got a 6-up ward, right?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Give them more shooting survivability. That's all they need. That's all they need.
Yeah.
Granted, if
Jimmy,
all
you're
the
right.
rules are based around woods, then it just comes down to if your opponent won't let you put down a bunch of woods, your army does nothing.
Well, they have the Acorn of Ages, and then they can cast the spell to summon woods. And you get a free one.
True.
And I mean, realistically, when you're playing fantasy,
Yeah, Vane,
there
you
should
did.
be a tremendous amount of terrain on the board already.
Yeah,
So
well,
it shouldn't be impossible to throw down some woods.
yeah, right. Any other armies you want to see things? Oh, ogres. Okay, guys, ogres. Thoughts?
I honestly don't even know what's wrong with ogres because I don't think they're that different from 8th, but I don't really know them that well. Other than the bus build, but like,
One of the big problems that I see with ogres, and maybe I'm wrong, is that they don't have any or many options that have anything greater than medium armor. Correct?
Yeah, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Excuse me. Sorry.
So I was reading something in the comments here. Do wood elves not get rank bonuses in the woods? Like, do they get the negative benefits of being in the woods?
I don't think anybody gets rank bonuses in the woods, right? But at the same time, I don't know if wood elves usually rely on their rank bonuses all that much.
Wait, okay, I missed part of this conversation, but we're talking about wood elves and rank bonus of wood. You know what absolutely frustrates me? And this might be as intended. You can be stubborn. When you're disrupted, you gain rank bonuses. You don't get your rank bonuses, but you can still be stubborn. Rules as written.
well, because they use this unit strength instead of ranks. That's just different, and that's just a different edition thing.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Who are we waiting on?
So what I brought up from earlier is that somebody in the comments brought up that wood elves and beastmen should ignore the negatives for being in woods. And so I was bringing it up. Do wood elves not get rank bonuses while being in woods?
I don't think anyone does.
No.
Yeah, I kind of agree though that beastmen and wood elves probably should be able to get their rank bonuses in woods.
They both ignore the negatives to movement penalty while in woods. The problem is, of all the woods, only one of them reduces your movement. Like Force Strider doesn't work because the core rule Strider doesn't work because the core rules of woods are nothing. So Force Strider used to make you immune to like damage from the woods and stuff like that. You can't have your movement reduced, but it doesn't. Woods don't reduce your movement.
That's just fixed by using like the better terrain rules from 6th edition anyway.
Agreed.
Oh, those are brutal slow though.
yeah.
But
I mean, those are fine, but man, like recording a game that just brings it to a grinding halt.
Yeah. Change them around a little bit, but I think that it would be nice to see some of the changes, like building destructibility.
So,
more interactions with that would be nice.
Flammable Hero says it ignores dangerous terrain. For the Beastmen, it doesn't matter. They have nothing that takes dangerous terrain from the woods, but they don't. The chariots don't have Force Strider. And then for Wood Elves, like their fast cav, ignore the fast cav and run through woods. That's all Force Strider does for Wood Elves effectively.
I think it should allow them to also get rank bonuses then in the woods, since that's their whole thing. Or would that be too broken?
I don't care if they get rank bonus in the woods or not. So sure. So it's probably not broken if you give it to them then. I would just like to see armies not gaining stubborn for being disrupted. Only because it directly hits the wood elves, because they could like the combo I like to do was like I would summon a wood under you and then fight in or charge in and then summon a wood or whatever. So I would disrupt you. Oh, Centigrades are Force Strider. That's true. Yeah, I forgot they said Force Strider. But yeah, is that combo too powerful?
Oh yeah, dude, that'd be so obnoxious.
But like the Wood Elves Eternal Guard.
Even just summoning the woods under, like playing against that even 1 or 2 times, and it didn't really have an effect. It was so annoying.
Really? How come?
You can't. Oh, I was like, you can't see over here now. You can't see over there now. You can't. Like for someone,
Good point.
It's like, oh, you got that cool thing over there. I was summon woods over there. Don't have to deal with it. So it's already pretty good.
No, I forgot about that completely. Damn, you're right. Damn it. Okay, fine. I just want to see what else get the armor. So I walked away for 2 seconds. We went off of ogres because we're getting gut plates.
They could definitely use a little bit more armor. Like for sure, dude.
Son, did you say what the gut plates did? Is gut plates like later medium armor or something like that?
I think the idea behind the gut plates is it gives them a situational armor bonus in melee.
But they already have situational armor bonus in melee. Think reverse shields for melee is a +1. But why? They took away. Why? Shooting is the. I'm missing something, right? So their fist used to count as a shield or additional hand weapon, but now he makes it a buckler, so you can't get a bonus against shooting. And we're gonna give him gut plates that act as a shield in melee, but not in shooting. So they're still gonna die to guns.
Can't you use nobblers to screen them?
I don't have any nobblers. I don't.
Oh, that'd be...
You shouldn't have to buy a different unit to make a other unit better. That's not a character. Like I shouldn't have to buy white lions just so I can play my sword masters. That doesn't make sense. Am I wrong in that thinking?
Well, nope. It's like it's not like they're not unplayable into shooting. Like if you're gonna go heavy shooting, even nobblers aren't gonna help. It's like a heavy shooting army is just gonna walk all over.
Yeah, sure, but a heavy shooting army should do that.
Yeah, exactly. So like armor or no armor, it's not gonna really make a big difference. But like that does give you have an option for counterplay nobblers. If you don't want nobblers, well, you figure out another way of doing it.
Aren't nobblers too small? I think
they have a rule that augments it. I think.
Oh, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised.
So Flammable Hero,
I hardly see nobblers.
So Flammable Hero says it's hard to justify a big shooting defense to buff a multi-wound models. Okay, but these multi-wound models, and I don't. So they're only weapon skill 3 and leadership 7. I don't want to see either one. I suddenly want to see those buffed. I don't want to see either one of those buffed. They're unskilled, big fatty idiots. Like I don't want them to be elite infantry. So yeah, they're gonna get to combat and they can run away. Like those are bad stats. They could end up running away. Let them get there. Like they're losing entire units before they get to combat. Like no, that happens to nobody else.
Isn't the highest leadership they even have in the army just 9?
On a tyrant, yeah.
So like you take okay. So I'm gonna compare. This is a math thing. Tell me if my thinking is wrong. So you take 20 humans, and then 6 ogre bulls, equivalent to same points there and about. Not exactly. We can get into like what's different. So the humans can take 20 casualties, and fight with all their attacks. Every 3 casualties the bulls take, they're losing a bunch of attacks. So the ogres lose half their attacks by taking the same casualties. Right? Like they're losing a lot of their combat potential on the way in. Right? They already don't have rank bonus. Like why we let these ogres die to shooting so fast? Am I missing something?
I don't like well I guess yeah. Well, shooting is just the buff to shooting overall, because that was never a problem for them last edition. Because shooting sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I would rather see these gut plates and ogre parry fists give them shooting defense and not melee defense. I think that buffs the army more. Right? Am I wrong? I might be wrong.
You're not wrong, but flavor-wise, that makes no sense.
Sure, 100%. I agree.
And I think that's kind of like what's king in this regard too. Like the flavors, like the ideal. Right,
the themes behind
every little decision is like a little narrative driven, good or bad.
Sure.
Yeah. Just means bring more lead belchers and shoot off their shooting, so that way your melee don't get killed.
I just want to see more thing declare charge.
Yeah, well, say you need to bring lead belchers. You can bring the cannon. It's a chariot as well.
Bring both.
That's also an option.
Or just change up Lore of the Great Maw a little bit to make it to where it gives them something that similar to the Bretonnian lore that protects them from shooting.
I like
the lore of the lores. I wouldn't touch that lore.
I like it too.
That lore, and I don't play ogres. It gives me fits. That lore is just all around good.
I do have a legitimate fear with touching ogres even in the slightest. I believe they're probably one of the armies where you give them this like tiny little buff, and all of a sudden now they're overpowered.
I mean, it's essentially what happened in 8th, right?
Yep, exactly that.
They've always been on kind of that balancing scale where they're either really pretty fairly dominant, or they're like just hard to do anything with because they only do one thing and they're bad at it, or anything else you can do against it's bad.
I think that's just mainly because it's an army of monstrous infantry.
Yeah. They're just like a big blunt ball that's sitting there, and there's only one thing you can do with it, right?
And I mean, they look like they're a bunch of angry homers.
My Dogers.
Yeah, the Dogers.
I'm very biased here. I want to see a buff to the collection I have without having to pay more.
Oh, fair.
I don't want to paint the nobblers. I put them on my dining room table.
have-
I just
Do you have
feel like you could
Stonehorns?
probably afford to see spine marrow change a little bit. I mean, it's a lot easier to be steadfast with the ogres than it used to be.
How so?
True.
Because it's unit
unit
size
strength.
based,
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
and so the spine marrows. I don't think spine marrow with its stubborn is doing as much for him. Just that's just me. If you
there's
made
pretty
that
bad
something
leadership, yeah.
where it gave them, right, like their leadership's already pretty poor.
Give it +1 leadership to all units within like 12.
Or if you gave it something where, I don't know, their spines and bones get all hard, and it's hard for a bullet or an arrow to really hurt them. I don't know.
I've
something,
seen
right?
Chaos Lord brings up a point, and I've seen this brought up a lot, and I don't think I totally agree. There's the monster, I can't remember what it's called, not the Stonehorn, the Thunder Tusk. Everybody within 6 inches of him is always strikes last. Now you would think that's crazy overpowered broken, except for ogres are initiative 2, so it's not really that big a deal. It's really more of a initiative buff to ogres than it is a debuff to everybody else, because nobody's rerolling to hit against them.
Zombies.
Refresh my memory. What
So-
is always strikes last?
You always strikes last, but if you have lower initiative than the thing you're swinging against, when you have always strikes last, you must reroll the hit. Say successful
Okay.
hits.
Yeah.
That's why you brought up the initiative point.
Yeah, fair point. I don't think that's a problem. In fact, like I don't know, maybe it is. I don't think it's a problem.
It would only be a problem if we go back to 6th and 7th edition close combat, where if you kill off the front ranks, they don't get to attack.
I don't think Thunder Tusks are really running tables. That's just my
No,
opinion.
I did. Yeah,
I think they're too many points, aren't they?
They're 250 for a T6 W6. That I don't know.
T6, that's it?
That's it.
Hey.
Okay, Flammable Hero, I love that idea.
I'd say
Just give
that.
the ogres a pavase.
I'm gonna go 3D print a bunch of doors from the Mordheim. I'll scale them up to ogre size and just glue them to the front.
They just
why
yes,
are you printing doors? Just get a whole bunch of ogre units.
I'll get
Get
popsicle
the
sticks.
floods.
Oh yeah.
that could-
Oh no.
yeah,
that-
just get ogre.
It's
I need those.
it's or maybe it's the ogres carrying around their big snack packs of whatever it is they fought last time, bundled up in a big sack. They're just putting over them.
I just want giant ass gut
Cubs.
plates. Can gut plates count as light armor? Wait, they do, don't they? Never mind. Never mind.
I mean, I think that's why they have light armors, because of the
yeah,
gut
that's
plate.
yeah, makes sense. Iron goods need heavy armor. If iron goods had heavy armor, would that be too good? That'll give them a 4-up save.
Going from a 5.
I
Yeah,
can see
maybe.
Iron Guts getting heavy armor.
Okay.
I was surprised when I first read their book and saw that they were only medium armor without the ability to get heavy.
Well, a lot of that flesh is exposed.
That's true. But I mean, Steve, we're not exactly petite guys. It doesn't always hurt when that flesh
Buddy,
is
I
exposed.
can't. You would think that you could buy a gut plate on the internet somewhere, and I've looked.
I have pots with lids, dude. I have all the gut plates I
Not
need.
big enough.
You just need them a walk.
Yep.
But
I was
call
gonna
that
say,
walk.
I did get a walk.
Just duct tape a walk around you. Boom,
No.
gut plate.
Yellow belly. No, that's the thing, right? Yellow belly asked if ogres could benefit from more base movement. That's one of those things that would take them from like nothing to overpowered.
Yeah, they're already what, movement 6?
Yeah,
They're
and
already like the
and
entire
swift
army with
stride
Swift
and whap. Like that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
like
no.
they should be better than they appear. They just tend to fall apart in close combat. Like without.
Yeah.
They have to like
Well-
you skill matters more in an ogre army than it should.
I
Well,
think you're onto something though, Steve, and along with I think it's Griglich that's been saying it about spine marrow being a different spell, right? And they need
Yeah.
that defense against shooting. So, and I was thinking about this as it was being mentioned. Just as simple, and again, I'll say it: a -1 to hit is way better than +1 armor.
Absolutely.
Just make it a -1 for shooting. Turn spine marrow into -1 to be hit from shooting it from range attacks only.
I have a better idea. A lot of them all take the mark of Nurgle. Problem solved.
You know, the mark of Nurgle does not solve everything. It leaves bad taste in people's mouths.
Oh, brother, it does. It solves everything.
Is the Mark and Nurgle really that broken in WAP?
Well,
+1 toughness.
that means
Yeah.
most things in the game wounded on a 6.
Yeah,
It's really strong on Beastmen, especially.
I think it's
Yeah.
still nothing compared to what 8th edition Mark and Nurgle was.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. Well, no,
Well-
that only worked really well when you had weapon skill 5, which means, like, nothing hit you on 3 anyway. So 8th edition Mark and Nurgle is -1 to hit, and if you had weapon skill 5, you were godly. Like a warrior, Chaos Warrior was weapon skill 5, Mark and Nurgle. Like,
Yeah.
it ain't gonna kill that thing.
Well, I look at it now, and I mean, you'd be for just Warriors of Chaos, like my own meta, my local meta. We've got 2 Warriors of Chaos players, and I've said you guys cannot make your entire army Mark and Nurgle
Yeah.
because it's Warriors of Chaos with hand weapons and shields. So that's a 2-up armor save with a toughness 5. You're never removing them.
I don't miss those days. I mean, I know Luca really enjoyed playing against the Horde of Warriors of Chaos all the time. When your whole army was 1 unit plus 2 units of javelin throw and fast cav.
Yep.
Everybody loved playing against that.
Yeah, it's funny.
Maybe instead of ogre magic buffing 1 bust with powerful bonuses, a bigger area. Yeah. Does magic need to buff more things? I don't know.
I don't really like bubble spells that much. I feel like it's too easy to get out of
Same.
hand.
I agree.
Yeah.
Demon Ace, I don't think Mark and Nurgle should be -1 to wound. That's
I
a
was
bit much.
not really. I was running down the math. It's actually not that bad. That means most things are going to wound the ogre on a 5 instead of a 6. It's actually not that bad. You play 40k? Because -1 to wound the 40k way things are wounded is way worse.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
talking to me,
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, you have a valid point for that.
It might not be terrible for -1 to wound.
I mean, it makes great weapons very horrible.
I don't like great weapons in WAP. I don't like them at all. They frustrate me.
Why?
Because I don't like having a great. Because a lot of things that I can take great weapons with, I can take a halberd with as well. Like, why do I want to? I just don't like the -2, and then you lose some of your strength. And when great weapons should increase your initiative, not lower it, it drives me bananas.
Oh yeah, that's right. Great weapons aren't just flat +2 always. It's +1 and then +1 in the first round.
Yes,
And -2 initiative.
Yeah.
which is not accurate. They make you faster, not slower. They should
I
give
think
you,
they make
they
you
should give you great weapons should give you +1 or +2 strength, and then give you +2 initiative in the first round of combat, and then -2 after that.
At
So
least
your
they're not
initiative
always
5
strengths
turn
last
1.
anymore.
Yeah. Well, always strength last never made sense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who makes a 2-handed sword that heavy.
Exactly.
Apparently, elves did. And we're really, really super zippy fast with our weapons, but we become less zippy fast if we become emo elves. So we're just fast with them, but we're not fast enough with the weapons that we use for executing and lopping heads off.
Okay, so I'm gonna read Barhammer's because Barhammer I know is I hate to know first information. He's a very competent player, but I'm gonna explain to you. Weirdly, we're talking about a weird vacuum, but he says I'm gonna reiterate the best way I found ogres deal with shooting. Your big gutstar or whatever waits behind terrain or uses nobbler screens until gorgers and saber kitties get into the enemy backline. If you do that to me, I'm gonna beat you. I'm going to kill a few of your units that are out in the open, deal with your skirmishers, and ignore the thing that's hiding. And now you have all your melee stuff, all your points not engaging in the fight, and the game's over. And I won because I killed more things than you. I'm taking it to the extreme, but if you're playing another competent player, if you take too long and you are bringing things that are going to be away from the rest of your line, they're going to deal with them and win on points, right? Am I missing something?
I don't think so. But I think with any strategy, you can do a counter, right?
Well, especially since if we're going to do words, I'm going to be like, a battle of like theoretical Warhammer. Everybody can argue something for sure. Like, and I'm waiting for him to reply with, but you hadn't thought of this. Like, yeah, you're right. But then I'll do this. But then I'll do this. But now we're talking theoretical Warhammer where we all had perfect pieces and perfect positions all the time.
Steve, I've played against you. I've never seen anybody roll as perfectly as you can.
Nope. Don't blame it. Don't blame my skill on my rolls.
Hey, just because you have rigged dice don't mean anything.
I think there is something to what Flammable Hero is saying about taking Lore of Heavens, but the reason that I'd like there to be a bit of a change on Spine Marrow is that, first off, I don't think Spine Marrow is that useful. I don't really know anybody who's cast it for any reason other than maybe to get the lore attribute.
Yep.
And then, but in order to take Lore of Heavens, you have to take Lore of the Great Maw first. So it would be nice to have part of your solution to this be in the spell lore that you're taxed to have to take.
Demon Ace, that's lovely. Never mind. We're not gonna do that. Yeah, but like changing their spell lore or that one spell isn't gonna solve all their problems. But yes, I agree with you. It should be on the list of addressed.
I don't think it should solve all their problems.
I don't think it solves any of
them. I'm okay with ogres kind of being weak to shooting. I'd like to see them have a bit more they can do. That's kind of rapid stuff they normally take.
It's an interesting thing because they were never weak to shooting, and it's just that shooting got so buffed that the ogre stat line just didn't hold up to it anymore, which is weird. But it's just. Do we want to see a nerf to shooting? I don't think I do.
No.
I like how it is.
And it's nothing to do with the fact that I'm a dark elf. It's the fact that.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say it has to do with the fact that if we're going to do a nerf to shooting, then it feels very 8th edition. A lot of your units become less viable because I'm going to spend the 100 or so points for 10 crossbowmen and hope that they kill half a unit. Right? You want it so that way your options are viable across the board.
Giant Pie just pointed out that talked about bringing back the long range penalty. I wouldn't have been upset if they did, but I'm kind of glad they didn't. So awesome.
Same. My big thing with it was back in 8, like watching like just about like 80% of your 8th edition battle reports. Shooting besides artillery seemed to never take effect. Like the shooting phase was basically a do nothing phase a lot of the time. You maybe either killed chaff or you had artillery, and that carried the phase.
Yep. Thoroughly agree.
Yep.
The only exception would be like lead belchers in high elves.
Yeah.
High elves? Which way?
They just had enough. Either the archers, because you take like 21 in like one tiny block.
Yeah,
and you just had very effective shooting.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. Okay, well, any other armies we want to hit? We get everything we want to talk about? I'm good for more or ending it here.
I don't know what was covered. I had to step away for a bit, so.
We covered Undead, we covered Ogres, we covered Orcs and Goblins. Okay, let's do Elves. Let's do Elves. As a whole. We good? I think we're good. We're good now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
I don't see anything wrong with Elves, to be honest.
I think that for my high elves, the spear upgrade that happened months ago was such a massive buff for them. Empire. Yes, Empire. You're right, Cap on. Empire. Did anybody disagree with me that the current state troop rule needs to go?
Oh, shit. Sorry. So what was said, I'm just curious about a recap. What was said about why greatswords are better than Reiksguard?
I forget.
Well, that doesn't help.
Greatswords are better than Reiksguard. They're cheaper. Oh, they're drastically cheaper.
Yeah, but Reiksguard, they start with full plate. They get a hand weapon shield. They're 2-up armor save. There's a banner that you can give them. They're already stubborn, I believe. Or the banner makes them stubborn.
Oh, you want to know what probably makes great swords better than Reiksguard? They get the state troops rule, don't they?
Yep.
Well, Reiksguard doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So Flammable Hero, we already covered Ethereal. Awesome change. Genius change. I don't know whose idea it was. That was a genius change. For those of you who missed that, Ethereal is you have a 2-up ward save against mundane weapon and a 5-up ward save against magic. I think it's a phenomenal change.
That's good.
That's genius.
Mm-hmm. As for making the state troops rule not broken, I think it just needs to go back to what it previously was, where either you just copy and paste the attachments from before, or it only can be done with units that have like a unit strength that is half of the parent unit.
You know what? I'll do one better for against what I agree with you. Well, I'll give the other side one better. You can only countercharge if you have a lower unit strength than the parent unit. At least give me that.
Yeah.
Like I know you agree, but like the rest of you guys, like it's such a broken rule. Like I refuse to use it when I play Empire. I'm not going to do it. It takes everything out of the game. Let's ignore playing Warhammer. We'll just do this rule. I hate it. I hate it so much.
I have wondered why, when I've watched your games, why you have never used.
I will not use it. I will not use it.
Because, like, at least in 8th, and this was theory crafting, I never saw it happen in 8th because you guys never brought detachments, really, besides, like, archers.
Well, there's 2 ways of doing it in 8th. I'll go real quick and then go ahead and say what you're saying. So if you had a horde of halberdiers, 20 halberdiers as attachment was viable. Or 15 militia were viable because you got a lot of attacks, 10 or 15 militia. But more often than not, it gave up a combat res, which it never worked in 8th edition. But go ahead. What was your...
Yeah, like, I think that the whole point that the state rules, like, countercharge should be is that you just get a small maneuverable unit that just goes in the flank, and then that's supposed to help the parent unit win combat via just static res. But the fact that I can do it with a actual, like, frontline unit just means that I don't need to stack res. I just killed whatever unit.
No, it's absolutely messed up. It's very similar to the argument I have for Undead. I think the rules of 8th edition made detachments not work. The core rules of WAP will have made it a very viable thing. But instead, you just used what would work in 8th edition. Like it's not like I see a lot of things in WAP with the mindset of 8th edition. Like so and so is vying for something that has only played 8th edition and changing WAP. I think detachment rules from 8th edition might have worked well in WAP. Not saying it would have. It might have. But at least we could. Maybe they did give it a chance. I don't know. But as it stands right now, having a whole unit countercharge like that, I will not do it. It's not the game I want to play. Like that, it just ignores the game.
I think
the other faction charging is Norska, but they don't do. They do it completely differently. It's not even. Yeah. It's night and day different. It's not even close. It's not even the same conversation.
I think. The change you discussed about having a comparative unit size determine whether or not a unit's able to charge or not, so that if you have a small unit, then the big unit doesn't charge.
Yeah.
To me, I think that sounds fairly reasonable. And I mean, in practice, I think most of the times that I can think of it, I use it. That's more or less what happens, just because I'll end up recessing the intended countercharge unit anyway, to where hey, if you want to gamble that you've got 2 to 3 inches more room to charge, go for it. But, a lot of times those charge dice are not going to be that lenient. I think that would at least present a risk that somebody could take where the average Empire player is going to be likely then to hold that unit back further, make the charges on it more difficult, and therefore make it a choice as to what it is that you choose to do.
So a Giant Pie is saying, what about the other problem with attachments where you just charge the small unit instead of the big one? Wait, I have like a threefold response, but like one, charging is not 8th edition. It's 2d6 highest die. There'll be detachments you're just not going to be able to charge. Or the parent you're not going to be able to charge. Like the charging is so different that the detachments don't make sense anymore for that reason. Forcing your opponent to charge a different unit, fine. You can countercharge on your turn. Like there's countercharging. Okay, I got so this. Sorry, not you, Giant Pie. You're good. Like I love you. This one works me up more than anything else. It just it breaks all of the reasons for playing the game. Move, counter, move. Think if I make this charge, how much combat res am I going to take? Am I going to hold for a turn? If I hold for a turn, he's going to countercharge me with that unit on his turn. So I'm not going to charge this turn. I'm going to wait until I get another one of my units to help out. And then I'm going to go in and charge. And it's all that whole mindset of Warhammer Fantasy is like, fuck it. I'm going to charge you on your turn. I win combat. And you gain charge bonus, ranks on multiple side, banners on multiple side. Like it does. It's not the game. It's everything not the game. And here's the biggest argument: Empire doesn't even need this rule to be top tier. Am I wrong?
No.
Empire's sitting phenomenal without this rule.
The gunpowder in Fate Stealing gunpowder in this edition is very good. So yeah, probably not.
I wouldn't say Empire's necessarily top tier, but I think that they're considered to be very good. Yeah.
I think I'd put them at top 3. Maybe top 5.
I would say probably top 5, top 6, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
I feel like
one day we should rank these up together, actually.
I was going to say, this sounds like another ranking video being ready to be made.
All right, I have a big painting project during the weekend. If I get everything done, I'll set it up and we'll do it this weekend or early in the week on Monday or Tuesday. And Tripper, how's it going, dude?
Like, Empire has probably some of the best shooting in the game because it's, besides like Tomb Kings, because it's just cheap. Like, compared to most other armies that have good shooting, Empire is cheaper than all of them.
Well, Empire can do everything. There's no phase they can't play in. Very well.
Yeah. And it's not even that their shooting is cheap. I mean,
it's efficient point for point.
Yep. That's it.
Well, here's the thing too. They can do everything, play every phase. They don't care about certain casualties. Priests that buff crap infantry. The small base size to really support each other. Like Empire has everything Warhammer. Like Empire is the Warhammer fantasy army. It does everything. They were in a rough spot in 8th edition. Not great. I like that they're sitting strong right now. I like that. But the state trooper rule. If state troops so good, why don't they dominate tournaments? Because you can play around it. You can play around it. Like, and how many WAP tournaments are there? Any WAP tournament? Okay, hold on, Pat Gray. Again, you're probably awesome, dude. I'm all worked up. I'm gonna go aggressive. Let's be clear here. There are no top end, highest ranked players in the world for WAP. We have a nothing community and we have local metas. Okay, we're tiny. Okay.
I don't know. I am the number 1 WAP player in Stratford, Ontario.
You could be. I'm the top 2. I'm the top 2. I'm at least the top 3 WAP players in Welland. At least. I guarantee it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Do you think I
love the conversation, guys. Sorry. Go ahead.
I feel very mixed with what Giant Pie is saying to fix it. Like, maybe have it so that only shooting units can stand shoot only for melee units, and melee units can only countercharge for range. Like, I think that is like a decent balance point, but it feels bad to me. Like, it just irks.
The downside for me for that would be that it kind of forces you to deploy in a very specific checkerboard way.
Mm-hmm.
But that makes sense too for Empire because that is how they fight lore-wise.
You know how I would legitimately fix it? I think just the easiest one. I think this one is so stupidly easy. You just take it out of the game.
Okay.
It.
I was just gonna say, get rid of countercharge. Like, keep the standing and shooting for other units. Just get rid of countercharge.
Nah, well, sure, whatever. I'm just saying the easiest way. Like if you're an Empire player and you're like, oh, I can't win anymore because I lost this rule. Well, it's not your army. And to me, there's so many reasons. WAP, you're gonna disrupt the enemy. Where in 8th edition you just gave out combat res because you took casualties. Because in 8th edition you had to be, you can only countercharge you have to be bought as a detachment. And you only countercharge for the unit that bought you. You must be 50% of the model-wise number than the unit that bought you. There's so many stipulations, and then so you take away all the stipulations. Now you have full units fighting in a game where charging is hard to do. Charging is way shorter. It's very hard to get like multiple charges off you on an army that's shooting you, but that's neither here nor there. And then the countercharge disrupts you. Adds three ranks, a banner, outnumber, flank. Out number in the side before you've done anything.
Yeah, like in 8th edition, it did nothing because you'd send like what the atypical parent unit was like 40 halberdiers.
Yeah.
So you can take at most 20 like halberdiers to hit maybe the flank if you're lucky.
And yeah, 100%. So you can chaff down the detachment, or you nuke the halberdiers because they're nothing anyway.
and also 8th edition had hordes. So hey, I'm in a horde. I'm stubborn. Cool.
Giant Pie, I just don't see a reason to take Spearmen in my Empire list. I love Empire Spearmen, dude. I love them. Without state troops, why not go Cav and Pistoliers instead? Well, that's a different argument. If you prefer Cav and Pistoliers, go Cav and Pistoliers. Like, literally, Empire does everything. Everything. You can choose any which playstyle you want. Oh, you like Spearmen? The buffs of Spears are so good. I love them.
But Entropy, again, in 8th, they literally... not in 8th edition, I don't believe you can lose Steadfast from being a horde, right?
You didn't end up losing it for being flanked.
It added most of the bonuses in 8, though. No, it didn't. In WAP, you can get 3 ranks from the parent unit, 3 ranks from the detachment that countercharge. You can get a banner from the parent unit and a banner from the side unit. You got charge, outnumber. Like you're adding like 5 combat res plus disruption. It's usually an 8-point swing just because your opponent charged you. Like you haven't done anything yet. It's like an 8-point swing yet. Oh, pikemen. Fair point. You can't take pike and shields though, right? But yeah, pikes are better. You're right.
The 8th edition detachment, the detachment cannot take any command, so you can't even get a banner or a musician.
Yeah, like you're adding so much innate combat res with this current detachment rule. Like I'm actually like okay, so if somebody disagrees with me that vampire count's overpowered, like I can be like okay, I might be missing something, I can be wrong about things. Like I'm willing to accept like there's a scale where you can discuss all these things. There's a lot of this stuff, but like when somebody doesn't agree that this doesn't make sense, it hurts my head. I don't get it. It breaks everything about the game. Have you not seen there's one battle report where Luca made like a long bomb charge, and I'm like, wait, what are you doing that? Oh, well, it's over. Game's over, guys. Like literally, the game's over because you charged one of Cullen's units. Like, he's like, why? Because now you're getting counter charge. It's a guaranteed counter charge. You charged into combat, and he's like plus 12 before you've done anything. Yeah, but Flammable Hero, not every army can do that, right? Beastmen can do that. Beastmen can send something to run fast enough so that the other unit can't countercharge. As a whole, many armies can't do that. They don't have the speed to do that. It means that many armies have to wait even longer. So elite armies have small model count, small unit count. They don't have the time to wait for other things to catch up into position so they don't get countercharged when Empire's shooting them to death. Like if Empire only had the infantry, for melee infantry, okay, we can talk about that. But everything in the army is cheap. Everything army does every phase.
What if you minutes that countercharge happens after remaining moves, but before magic?
Yeah, okay, you know what? That could fix it, but I'm a mindset of like, well, that's weird. Why don't we just take it out of the game? Chaos Lord, you don't have the models, true.
Giant Pie makes another point of just it never can hit the flank, it has to hit the front.
Okay, that would. Here's the thing. I'm okay with that because that will make most people not even bother.
Well, it'll mean you also never countercharge.
Yeah, because you're gonna charge in
3 wide.
Yeah, you're gonna charge in. You're probably gonna add a charge bonus and an outnumber bonus. You're gonna add 2 combat res, and in return, you're risking 2 of your units fleeing.
Yep.
So people, if you made it so they can only do it to the front, I think people wouldn't bother with it anymore. So I'm okay. I vote for that because it effectively takes out of the game.
Yeah, I think
exactly.
You guys
Giant
are just
Pie.
right. Get rid of it.
Yeah, wait till next turn. You're right, Giant Pie. And that's the game of Warhammer I love. And I get it. Sometimes I can be old Grognard. I can be wrong about things. Like maybe I'm wrong about Undead. I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong about other things. I'm not though. No, I'm so. I gotta not be like that. I know. I could be wrong.
The thing I like about countercharge is I like the idea of you have these units that work in unison that are this cohesive kind of
I know.
you know early modern army with
I
an
agree.
advanced doctrine that's not just a feudal bunch of warlords anymore or something like that's one of the
It's
cool
a-
things about the Empire.
It's a
If-
great concept.
Oh,
I just think that it just needs to be
Jimmy's
made a
right.
bit more manageable.
I forgot about that. You're right, Jimmy. I forgot about the combat rest thing. So maybe
Yeah.
one holds for a turn.
Mhm.
But to be from like a gameplay, like lore wise, fluff flies, yes, it makes sense. It's very cool, very awesome. But from a balance wise too with it, like you have to think having actual tactics is broken when nobody else uses tactics.
Yeah. So Flammable Hero says small changes. What if we do leadership test? I mean, at bare minimum, I still won't do it. I still won't do it, but at bare minimum.
I'd say maybe less a leadership test, more. I'd say more so an initiative test. Like, did they get caught off guard from the charge?
I just think the reason I like the remaining moves idea is that way you have a charge. It's like you're playing a card, and then they play their counter charge card. But that card's not resolved yet, and now you get a chance to, in your remaining moves, to try to foil that. And you know that if you do, you're probably going to have to put something up close enough to where they can charge it on their turn, but you're willing to accept that because you're denying them the flank charge or whatever else they're going to get on the counter charge.
Like I'm just trying. Sorry, I kind of drifted away. I'm trying to think of like the near like in all of the Empire. I mean, all of the old world. The humans from the Empire learned to like wait. It's not our turn. Nobody charge. Oh wait, no, we can. All right, charge them. Like it makes no sense. Like the Hyles haven't figured this out. The Dwarves haven't figured this out.
It's funny because of the other human factions in Matthias's books, who are like very professional militaries and armies, haven't figured this out either.
I get why it's there, and I probably I might if I came to WAP off of 8 and like it's just gone completely, I might have been more irate. How dumb is this? But yeah, it doesn't work in the current rule set. What did you say, Spoons?
He's saying that instead of like countercharge or any of the other stuff, they state troops rule just for every state troops unit within X inches, they get +1 combat.
I was
risk.
thinking about that as well. I was actually thinking about that as well. I think that sure, I'll take that.
That actually would probably be a good. Yeah, that sounds like a very good change.
But
Yeah.
my counter argument is, I'm the Empire player now. I already think they're strong enough. I'm not going to use the counter charge, so you're just buffing me.
Yeah.
Having opinions is fun. Keep it coming, you old nerd. Yes, Warhammer, you get it.
Now, just to go off the move away from the state troops rule, because I think we've beat a dead horse.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Do it. Change it up.
Here's a hot take: Empire is the best duelist in the game.
Empire's the best duelist in the game.
Yeah,
What?
muscle wizard, man. You take a hero level wizard, give him
you-
Van Horseman Speculum,
You're wrong.
Lord Beast. Nobody can beat him.
You're wrong. Actually, you take the Beastman Shaman with a 2-up, 4-up, and then you swap my stats. You take my stats, and then I add D6 strength and toughness to myself. Sorry, D6 strength and attacks to myself. I'm still gonna the Beastman's still gonna win the fight.
Does the Beastman Shaman get that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So everybody forgets Muscle Wizard's cool, but Beastman Shaman's angrier.
I mean, it's not a surprise that Beastmen do Muscle Wizard a little better, right? Considering,
It's true. Can't bounce around your dice, Steve. Cat Bond, it's not my dice, it's my skill. It's my skill and my experience that carries me. And the fact that I was born close to where Mini Wargaming opened up their company
Steve,
is all my success.
question about that experience thing. How long have you been playing Warhammer again?
A couple of months.
No, seriously, like 8 years, I think it is.
Playing?
Isn't that what you said?
Playing?
Yeah.
8
Yeah.
years? No, it's like a decade now, yeah.
Decade. Okay. I've been playing for 20 years, so your experience thing is wrong.
You think?
Damn,
Hey, Todd. It is January, right? It's January. I think I played more games this year than you have in your entire life.
That's so. This year? No.
Yeah.
No. Disagree.
Really? I'm up to like 30 games already.
Yeah.
All right, fine. In the last 6 months.
Yes, fine. You win in the last 6 months. But that's because I have 3 small nerdlings.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I chose to focus on Steve. Yeah, you missed Wood Elves. Wood Elves are in a good... Here, we'll recap them. Wood Elves are in a good spot. I like Wood Elves a lot. They have a fantastic lore. They only need defense against enemy shooting. That's it.
Yep.
Over time, I've seen Steve use at least 4 different sets of dice. Yes! See, Spoons, that pissed me off. There was a comment, I think, on Mini Wargaming. It was like yesterday I read it, and someone's like, why is Steve using orc dice? On like whatever battle report it was, and somebody replied with legitimately because they roll really well and he won't use anything else. Like, it's pissed me off because I spent so much money on dice, buying new sets of dice. So people, it is yes possible that my dice always roll what I need, but it's statistically improbable. You guys just see that because I'm good. I'm kidding.
You know, that just reminds me of there was like this joke SCP of like that was a Warhammer model that could mentally alter dice, and everyone's getting suspicious because they're like, "Why do you keep rolling 6s?"
No, like, what was it? There was somebody like Steve always makes 11-inch charges. Always makes 11 charges. So fortunate always makes 11 charges. I went back and checked one battle report. I declared like 5 of them and made 1, and you're complaining that I always make 11-inch charges? I used to them all the time.
I don't complain that you make 11-inch charges. I just say your high elf cavalry always makes 11-inch charges. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
They just always declare them. You never remember the failures.
I'm sorry, but I've seen a high elf stop the end times because of this.
Yeah, he's got a point.
That's true. That's true. I forgot about that one. That's true. That was
one of the best battle reports I've ever seen.
For those of you who don't know that story, I'll do it real fast. So years ago, Luca, Cullen, Josh, and I were going to do a end times campaign. I know, relax. So the first mission has Archon the Black? Yeah, it's Archon the Black.
Yeah.
Raising Nagash from the dead and doing a ritual. And there is this high elf prince and a princess, I think, that have to, like, they're going in and trying to stop the ritual. Now, in the lore, they obviously fail the ritual. I mean, they fail to stop him, and Nagash comes back. But the game has a bunch of undead infantry, and Manfred on this new mount thing that came out at the time, and a bunch of high elf cav, like no synergies, whatever. Like, this is dumb. Whatever. I don't even want to do this, but we said we're gonna do this campaign, so I'm just gonna declare turn 1 charges on everything. I made them all. But not only did I make like damn near all of them, somehow I broke through, and every undead unit crumbled to nothing, and I overran into the next things, and one of the units even overran into Manfred, and we won that game so handedly that, like, legitimately the campaign we canceled it because we stopped the ritual. There was no end times. In my universe, stopped the end times with 1 dozen 11-inch charges. That said, Judith, here's some money for your new dice fund, Steve. Damn it! Thank you.
Honestly, I'd probably fund the new End Times campaign.
I would do it again.
It'd just be cool to see the End Times rules again. Like, watching you guys use End Times magic from, like, the Kane book, it was just fun.
It's a good time. I enjoyed it. Not every viewer did.
You have to have, I was going to say, you have to have the right people for it, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Running one during one of the multitudes of lockdowns, just for something to do with my friends.
Wind Blast.
And that really blew up in my face.
So there was a campaign Luca did. It was like, I forget what it's called. Here's a Hornheim.
Here's a Hornheim.
Yep. Here's a Hornheim. So he does this campaign, and I'm like, okay, I'll just take Lore of Heavens because it's not a great lore. Because I know like I'm gonna get Lore Master and have all the spells. It's gonna be really powerful. And then we found out Wind Blast is crazy overpowered when you can cast when you get 46 power dice and you can cast a spell more than once per phase.
Mm-hmm.
Luca was so frustrated that the finale, spoilers, he took my wizard and nearly put him on a tower, forcing him to do a ritual. So I couldn't use him anymore.
I remember that, and I was just like, oh hey, we actually have a game now.
I enjoyed that campaign so much.
There's a reason why I try spamming Wind Blast and WAP because of that reason alone. And also charges are shorter.
Yeah, I have to try. Wind Blast is better. I gotta try it again. We did this one mission for that campaign. I think it was like the fourth or the fifth mission where we set up a big wall and covered it with Empire models and dwarf guys and our like artillery, and a horde of chaos kept moving forward. And all they had to do was break down the gate and bust through. But every time one of their units died, Luca had to roll a die on like a 4-up or a 5-up, depending on what it was. And it would come back on the table and walk on again, and it would be infinite turns or something like that. And he was constantly coming and constantly pulling back the tide, and like I can't remember what the end condition was when the game stopped for whatever reason, but that was worth watching. I had such a blast playing that one particular game. Like the whole campaign was awesome, but that one was fun. That one was awesome. Windblast got cast more during the end times than all of 8th edition.
Yeah.
My Wiles in the fence. Like, yeah, Jesus Christ.
Oh, this is also just bringing back a lot of older battle reports, like the one Triumph and Treachery game where you had Cooler, and he was just Nagash in like a what's the Ark of the Covenant from the Tomb Kings?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was just that and two of those. That was his entire army, and then he summoned everything. And like the dwarf player was just like, I don't know, guys. The Nagash player is fine, and you both lost your minds.
I remember because it was when Ash was working for us when Nagash came out. Where's the Spoons? Is it in general? When oh god, there's so many messages. What? Nice, Spoons. Nice. Where'd you get those made? Focus. Nagash came out in 8th edition end times. Ash was working for me, working at the time. We play one game and Skinks just blow him off the table. His poison.
I think I remember that game too.
I love after you wind blast him so much, he went cheesy, bringing nothing but neuro because he was salty. You blame him? That wind blast he was such a good sport for not getting any of his his corn demons into combat. Thank you, Spoons. I need to get some nopes / spoons. He rolled a lot of nope. I wouldn't roll nope. I'd only roll spoons. All right, let's focus. Jeez. Okay, we covered everything, right? Did we miss anything? Don't want to bitch about one more book.
What about Warriors of Chaos?
Warriors of Chaos. Okay, well, my initial thoughts for them way back when was these things seem nuts. Like toughness 4, 2-up armor infantry. I'm like, yeah, I think they're fine. I mean, we've all seen, okay, in hundreds of games, we've only ever seen one battle report where the enemy lost 0 models and tabled an opponent. And I was playing Warriors of Chaos and I got tabled.
The thing that they've got going against them is they're slow.
Shut up, Playable Hero.
They're only movement 4.
That's average.
It's average, but if you can get around that, like if you can outshoot them, if you can mitigate their numbers before they get to you, kind of thing.
Okay, so let me counter that point. It's not meant to be sarcastic, but legitimately, what you just said that applies to every army in the game, though.
It does.
Weren't Warriors of Chaos movement 5 and 8?
No, they were always 4.
They were initiative 5 and 8.
Yeah.
And then they
weapon
dropped
skill
to
5, initiative
4.
5.
Yeah, now they're down to initiative 4.
I'd kind of like to see. I've gone back and forth about this in my head. I'd kind of like to see some of their magic diversity get brought back a little bit. Where in WAP now, if you take a marked sorcerer you're stuck with the Chaos God
Right.
Lures. So
Because-
Sorcerer of Tzeentch, you must take Tzeentch.
Because it used to be Tzeentch could take Tzeentch or Metal. Slanesh was
Right.
Slanesh or Shadow. I think Tzeentch could do Fire as well. Shadow could do... Sorry, Slanesh could do Shadow and... There was one more they can take, and then Nurgle could do Fire or Death.
Death, yeah.
No, not Fire. It was Death and... hell, it doesn't matter. I can't remember. But yeah, you're right. I like to see a little more options. I like to see less restrictions. Oh, the Demon Prince in 8th edition was so busted. I don't know how he is in... He's probably fine now in WAP. He's
I
gotta
don't
be
think
fine.
I don't think he has unstables. I mean, unbreakables. I think
That's all.
he's-
That's the important part, right? As long as that's gone.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you're kind of stuck fielding the Demon Prince and Warriors of Chaos pretty much on his own. There's not really any unit that he's legally allowed to join, I think, in Warriors of Chaos. You can make him tough, but it's a lot harder for him to win his points back now, I think. You really have to rely on him to perform and kind of watch out for him.
Well, the
more.
thing is, if you're comparing him to 8th edition, where he used to do everything by himself, he's now a tool that he's really good at supporting other things. Adding that flank charge to anything is real good, real useful. But he's not a commando to run off on his own.
Yeah, I think he ends up needing to work in a coordinated way with the rest of the army, which the way I see it actually is I think it's a lot better than where he had been previously. I think sometimes there's an expectation folks have when they make the transition.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's in a bad spot.
I find a lot of people, not everybody, a lot of people have a lot of opinions about WAP with only a mindset of 8th edition in head.
Mhm.
But I don't
Yeah.
think Warriors of Chaos need anything. Like if they were untouched, I'd be like, okay, yeah, it makes sense to me. Right?
Mhm.
Am I missing it? Like, is there anything we can adjust on them? Well, they're losing armor, which is probably a positive.
I think that they maybe should keep or at least for like Chosen and the Chaos Lords and stuff, they should be able to keep full plate.
I think they are. I think Chosen and
Yeah.
characters keeping full plate, but just Warriors are losing, going to heavy.
Like it
Yeah.
sucks
I don't
that
see that
Chaos
as bad.
Warriors lose it, but
Yeah, but
think-
if you look at it from an 8th edition perspective, which I know you just said we shouldn't, but if you look at it from that perspective, that's the same save that they would have had in 8th edition.
Yeah.
Right? Still sitting at a 4.
It's still no, it's a 3 with a shield, right?
Yeah, but I mean like just the armor itself, right?
I don't know,
Chaos
Chaos Lord.
armor
You think that's
was
too much? I think that's. I don't. They could get cheaper, but I don't think it's warranted. I think the lower armor in price as is fine. That many attacks,
think that
leadership,
they
reroll panic. They have a lot. They get a lot for their points. Their only downside is their
They
base
do.
size.
I think they're probably going to go down maybe a point.
Yeah, if
point,
they
yeah.
got cheaper, I'd be like, that makes sense. If they didn't get cheaper, I'd be like, oh, that makes sense.
But the thing I'd like to see changed is, and I don't personally use these models. Some other fellows do. Are the Putrid Blight Kings and the other kind of awkward wound to attack to AOS models who are marked down as infantry, who are kind of bad because they're infantry, they don't get the supporting attacks. Putrid Blight Kings have 3 attacks. If they get to use those 3 attacks because they're in a building, they're probably one of the best building defenders in the game.
So there's that was why they were completely unplayable in 8th edition. And I think there actually is a very simple fix. Supporting attacks is 1 attack, unless you're monstrous infantry, must have the other stipulations. But if you're infantry with a 40 mil base, you get 3 supporting attacks. Like it's a simple fix.
I almost just think just make them
monstrous infantry. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
they
monstrous
pretty much already are
monstrous
just minus
infantry.
1 wound.
Monstrous infantry gives them a bunch more buffs, like Swift Stride, and I think something else I can't remember at the moment.
Fear.
Is that built in?
Yeah.
I think.
It's part of monstrous infantry.
So they can be like a light version of monstrous infantry, like or make a monstrous infantry. Sure, like I'm saying, if he does not unit strength, you're right. Unit strength, that's another big one. Yeah, actually, it seems like they should use monstrous infantry. Actually,
No, Jimmy.
pretty
Not
much
the
the size of
25
ogres.
mils.
and more or less the stats of ogres.
We're talking like the
Just
unique
1 point
units, like the
less.
future Blight
Oh.
Kings, Jimmy.
Don't forget, as Monsters Infantry, they only need 3 models to make a rank too.
Yeah,
that's
make a
important.
Monsters Infantry.
I feel like these are things that you can account for in the pricing
Yep.
of their model.
You can.
Yep.
It just like especially does come up too when it's with the corn ones, like the guys with the flails and crap. And
Wrathmongers.
yeah, like they only get 1 attack from the guys in behind. Granted, they're skirmishers anyway, but
So the Chaos Lord, without picking any particular thing, I'm 1,000% positive on this. You said 18 points a model is 336 points with just marks, no special stuff. Do you know if you take that stat line and give it to any other army for 336 points, people are gonna kill for that? Like you got too much with them. You got more than everybody else gets for those points. You got used to it. Come back to the rest of us. Now there are other offenders like them, but yeah, no, you get a lot for 18 points a model right there. A lot.
Weapon skill 5, strength toughness 4, initiative 4, 2 attacks.
2 attacks base. Leadership 8 base. Reroll panic base.
Yep. A hand
And
weapon
that's-
full plate.
Mhm.
So you're sitting at a
At 18
3 up
points,
armor
you're
save.
18 points. You're getting the mark, right?
Yeah, that gets you a mark right now.
So I use an 18 strong best to grow unit all the time with only 5 up armor save, weapon skill 4, less initiative with a mark. I get it's about that expensive with like no save, no skill, no weapon skill. I get more movement. I get no
In
strength. Oh, I
fairness,
get strength.
Chaos doesn't quite have as many good tools. I mean, I think Chaos is a lot more direct.
Well, yeah, but I mean, well, okay. So their Javelin fast cav, pretty good. Their Marauders, I think, are a little lacking. I'm still going to go heavy Marauder on my Chaos list. Their Mammoth is good, like, amazing good, but I'm not going to compare it to Mammoth. A lot of good monsters, actually. But just
I think
solid
Slanish
warriors
Marauders are
and
good.
knights and characters. Characters that can take, like, if you wanted to, I'm not saying Warriors of Chaos are a mindless army, but it is the most mindless. Like, what I'm saying is I can build a list to give a 12-year-old and tell him, just keep walking forward, and then I'll tell you what dice you have to roll when you have to attack. And I'm not saying he's going to win, but he's got a significantly higher chance over any other army he's going to play.
I think
Marauders do seem
for,
kind of pointless. I don't want to say that because I don't want to be like down on them, but I can't figure out why I want to use a Marauder.
I think the advantage of Marauder is that you can have a 7-point per model stubborn unit.
On a 25 mil base, I don't care. Or my mindset's wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but on a 25 mil base, I don't care.
my only problem with the Marauders are I'm playing Warriors of Chaos, so I want to use Warriors of Chaos and not some puny little human.
I get that argument, but my Warriors of Chaos for me primarily Marauders.
But to be fair, there's Wolfric, and he's just badass.
Yeah.
I think he's the reason why you'd want to do Marauders.
Marauder
Yeah.
Hunter with Marcus Slanesh for Slanesh Wizard. Yeah, well, Marcus Slanesh is Marcus Slanesh is a little redundant on them, isn't it? Oh no, it makes you immune to psychology.
And stubborn.
I'm gonna play without any marks on my Warriors of Chaos. I think
Have
you
you
must.
done?
What?
Have you done the trolls lists yet?
No, because I can't find a Throg.
Oh,
He's impossible to find. One day I'll find one.
because that list seems either busted or just fun.
No, Chaos Lord, can I have it? I'll buy it off you. So, I had actually, you know what? Well, you guys can talk me through this as well. So, I finished my Dark Angel project for Heresy. And I have to do one this weekend. And then next weekend I'm starting my next project or finishing or whatever. So we've been going around in circles of what I should do. Should I work on the Bretonnians to get them done? The reason I started the project, it's like assembled and ready to paint. Should I just finish that project? It's gonna take a lot of time, but it's been started. It's worked its way through. But on the other side, we have full access to a Bretonnian army. Next one is Empire. Should I have all the Empire? Should I start adding get the work done, flush out that army more because we have more battle reports for the Empire? We already have the Bretonnians. Or do I just work on that Warriors of Chaos army? Because it'll be it's a massive Warriors of Chaos army with every kind of unit. So we get lots of different kind of varied lists. So do we want to see more varied Empire, more varied Warriors of Chaos, or a prettier Bretonnian army? That's the thing.
More varied Empire.
More varied Empire?
Yeah.
I think that's what Luca told me too. I think. Damn. Okay. So.
Okay, so now you've heard what
I'm
we said.
biased
What
a
about
bit
you?
towards seeing more Bretonnia.
Well,
But
see,
at the same time, I think that varied Empire is probably what I would pick too.
See,
Like,
the thing is, I want to finish my Bretonnian because, god damn, I hate an unfinished project.
What do you have left of the Bretonnians?
What do I have left? Oh my god.
Because it seems like you have pretty much all the Bretonnia lists.
No. I have 3 large blocks of Bretonnian archers with stakes, more men-at-arms, 5 more Pegasuses, 36. No, wait, 8, 16, 32. 48 Bretonnian knights. Grail knights. I think I have 10 of them. I have everything except for questing knights. Can't find them.
You should get some 3D printed hippogriff knights.
I know.
Mhm.
I know. But
Especially post update, they're going to be way more viable.
I know, but I won't put. So I've said this before, and this will make sense to you, I think too. I won't put any of my time in painting anything that is WAP specific, because I have 1,000 things to do, and then the second the old world comes out, a unit of hippogriff knights are not going to be playable. So I should put my time into something that's going to be usable in 18 months from now, 16 months from now.
You want to future-proof your armies for the next
Exactly.
edition.
Yeah. But if I was only working on one army, I would do all the WAP specific stuff, obviously.
Well,
Yeah,
then what you
there's
should
a
do is
problem I have.
The upside of doing the Bretonnians is kind of my favorite part about painting them is you kind of get to personalize them.
I know.
A lot of room to do your coat of arms and just so many fun hobby opportunities.
I'm gonna do a fundraising stream where as I paid every night, you get to pay $10 or whatever, $20 whatever, and name them and pick the heraldry and all that kind of stuff. Everybody get their night in there.
Oh, I'd be down.
How are you at painting the Fleur de Lis?
I ain't putting no French stuff in my Bretonnian army. Every night we'll have a tartan.
Done with you.
What's the French Canadian flag look like, Todd?
I'm not French Canadian for the last time, Steve.
Are you French?
I am French.
Are you Canadian?
That does not mean I'm French Canadian.
Larry, I missed the whole thing, brother. We're done.
Beginning of February, I'm coming down there, and you and me are going to have a frank discussion about this.
Yeah,
Wait.
you're in a retreat.
Are we going to like how you say you go and fight Adam in the parking lot? Are we going to get a Todd versus Steve this fight? If you do, someone needs to record it and have it be members only.
New pay-per-view. Todd versus Steve.
Yes.
Adam will just show up and attack.
Adam just shows up with the chair.
Wait a minute, this isn't what I was promised. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm going to call in Frenchie to help me, too.
Frenchie is super American.
That's fine. The name will work.
Oh my god, my side's hurting. Alright, everybody, I think we talked this one to death. You know what? You guys enjoy this? I enjoyed this. We should do this again sometime.
Yeah, it was
Well,
good.
what do you say we aim for the weekend sometime after I finish painting? Jacob, we're out. We're done. Later, buddy. Have a good one, everybody. See you the next one. Happy
That's
working.
dirty trouble, but I clipped the you being very prejudiced against French Canadians.
I don't even care. They're not real people.
Thank you, Spoons.
Oh, God. No.
Thank
Don't
you,
get me
you're my
started.
hero.
I heard they're very spiteful people.
No, we're good. We just hold a grudge.
We'll see how long it lasts before Steve deletes it. You'll have to check Discord to do it though.
Steve, you saying that that French people just reminds me of the meme. Warhammer Fantasy, we have lizards riding lizards. We have like very angry dwarves, and we have the French, but they're human. You remember that?
Oh, my ears are killing me. Did you just put a prejudice stamp up?
What prejudice question mark?
I have no authority to take it down. I think you're a mod. All right, everybody. I'm actually going now. Goodbye. Get it out of here.
Good night, everybody.